Kehres Stadium right in the heart of Alliance, Ohio, and the center of the Mount Union campus. It's week one OHSAA Football on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. Good evening, everyone, as we pan the camera around here in the booth. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening in what is a really weird venue for me to be at in a sense. My dorm room, 500 feet over there, so this is part two of live in, well, my backyard. But as the former voice of the Namers, calling a Padua game week one, not against Holy Name, is a little out of the realm of my usual happenings. But for the fourth year in a row, I'm part of a broadcast of Padua football week one. Couldn't be more excited as they take on the Alliance Aviators. Alliance last year had some struggles, but found themselves in the playoffs where they ended up losing to Aurora. As for the Bruins, a heartbreaking end to their season, a 44-41 loss at the hands of Walsh Jesuit, a goal line stand from the Warriors, enough to knock the Bruins out of playoff contention on the final day. But it's a clean slate for both teams. For Alliance, they now have Bo Davis under center. The junior quarterback beat out Alex Hartman for the starting job. He'll get his first career start tonight against Nick Barker, who gets his 11th career varsity start. The transfer from Benedictine a year ago looks to have a day to remember in Alliance at Kehres Stadium. He's looking for some college offers, along with a couple other players. Brenden Zurbrugg on Padua, already committed to Ohio. The three-star will be going to Athens next year. But the biggest question for all Padua right now, where will Roderick Love play football in 2025? Right now, the reports suggest Ohio State, but it could be anywhere really in the MAC or Ohio State. But this game also is big for Alliance. They're without their quarterback, their three-star quarterback from last year, Brenden Zurbrugg. He is now in Oklahoma, the second Aviator to make his way onto the new NCAA football game. The freshman, I believe, is redshirted by the Sooners, so we'll see him in a couple of years' time. But he was a legend here at Kehres Stadium, over 2,000 passing yards in 11 games last year. How do they rebound? Kayvon Davis caught over 1,000 yards worth of passes. He is now gone and graduated. Who steps up in his place? J.R. Jackson looks to be the man to step up as a receiver, while Rayvon Hawkins looks to be the man in the backfield to step up for Alliance. Already mentioned the Padua guys. You got Nick Barker, Rod Love, Brenden Zurbrugg. This game is basically Padua's way to make amends for Week 10 last year. Talking to Coach Kubit in the offseason, their mantra this year is finish. 5 of the 6 games that they ended up losing last year, they had leads late in the game. We'll turn the camera around as they walk out for the coin toss. You see a lot of captains out there, and that's just kind of the culture that Padua football has. A lot of teams have 2 or 3 captains, but Coach Kubit opted for 6 different guys, all of which I interviewed at the end of July, and they had the same mindset. Finish games and make Padua proud. They all know how heartbreaking it was last year to lose to Walsh on the goal line, especially Rod Love. They trusted him with the ball, but unfortunately the line didn't hold up enough as the Jesuits made a play in the backfield. You can see both sides exchanging friendly handshakes as they're ready to get the season underway. Now we're going to take this into the part where we look back at that game. Here's the stage. 4th down and goal on the 1-yard line, the left end zone at Padua Stadium when looking out from the press box. What happens? A handoff to Rod Love, and he is stuffed in the backfield. One of the Walsh linebackers jumped the gut on the outside, was able to get around the right tackle, and had an easy play in the backfield that ended their season. As for Alliance, 41-7 against Aurora, nothing really going in that game. So the question is, what needs to change for both sides if they want to have success, not only today, but in 10 weeks from now when we're in the playoffs in Week 11? For Padua, it is fix the goal line package. They've had that struggle for years, stops at the goal line. Week 1 last year, Rod Love barely made his way into the North Royalton end zone against Holy Name to score his 2nd touchdown of the day. If the O-line can win in the trenches, Padua will be successful running the ball. That should be their point of emphasis going into today. Correct the goal line stance. If you're Alliance, you exploit that early. If you have your back against the wall, force an error from the Bruins. This is week 1. This is where the majority of errors in a season will happen. We saw it last year in that Holy Name Padua game. A lot of rust had to be kicked off throughout that ball game on both ends. It took till the second half to get the first touchdown of the year when Roderick Love was able to get outside the hash marks and run down the Padua sideline. Here's announced who will be getting the opening kickoff. Padua, they look to start hot early. Alliance looks to give the Kehres faithful something to cheer about. The time now, 6:38. It's time to go around the grounds. One of my favorite segments as I make predictions about the games in the local area. And as well, I asked you over on social media, SmeeSports on Instagram, to predict these games along with me. Usually it's 12 games, the same 12 games for everyone. However, I decided to not predict the game I'm calling this year. I don't want to seem biased. I don't want it to seem like I have stake in this game because I do not. As a Holy Name kid, Padua has been a big supporter of mine, and I appreciate them. And the same point, Coach Kellerman over on Alliance's sideline was someone I got along with really well in my time at Holy Name when he was there for the first 2 years of my time there. And as well, Alliance plays 500 feet away from my dorm room. So it's really a toss-up for not really neutrality, but for my support. I'm neutral in this game, and I'm neutral in most of these games I'm predicting. However, we're going to start in a biased game here. Holy Name versus Lakeview, that game starting at 7 p.m. The pregame show going on over on the Holy Name Athletics YouTube channel right now. I have Holy Name winning that game by a touchdown. It comes down to if Harrison Frank can produce like he did during baseball. We expected him to be a solid starter, but he ended up being a rising star more than we expected him to be. If he can do something similar under center, taking over from Andrew Cole, they'll be successful. They have X. They also have Jovan in the backfield. If they can have a solid game, I feel like Holy Name will have no issue taking care of business against Lakeview. Going to the fan vote, 84% of you at home predicted Holy Name to win. We were both going with the Green Wave in that game. The second game over on Q92 Sports on the radio, it's New Philadelphia versus Louisville. The Leopards struggled a lot in 2023. That is very well known. I feel like they're going to take a little bit to settle into this campaign. So with that being said, I give the victory to New Philadelphia in that game. However, at home, 69% of you voted on the Leopards to win that game. So we do have a split 2 predictions in. The third game, a rivalry game, Canfield versus West Branch. These guys have gone back and forth over the years. Canfield has dominated. Originally, I was going to say this is the year where West Branch made amends and won. I just really can't warrant it. They lost their quarterback, one of their better quarterbacks in team history. I don't think they can overcome that. Canfield just has a pipeline. They did really well with Brock Lowry. Then went to Paul Bindis, who did a good job. I feel like whoever they put out there tonight will do a job and beat the Ballot outfit by a touchdown. Looking to the fan vote, Canfield 75% at home vote for them. I have to agree with them. Another close game. Akron Buchtel versus Canton Hoover. It's going to be an exciting game. Player to watch. It's a lineman, Jack Zarko. Saw him play baseball, actually one of the games that he played in, live streamed right here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. He is a mammoth. The power that he has in the trenches with a baseball bat, you name it, is unmatched at his age. The junior looks to be a presence in the trenches. I feel like kind of similar to Brandon Hominy for Padua. It's enough to will a team to a win, which is really incredible to say when you're talking about a lineman. Linemen are the most unsung people on the field, but I feel like just enough power will come from Zarko to will the Vikings over the Griffins. Looking at the fan vote, Hoover, 52% agree with me that they will win that game. Green versus Dover, another close one. It was 14-6 last year in favor of Green. The Dogs, their last game was against Massillon, 31-6 in Week 14. Unfortunately for Dover, the Bulldogs are going to come out with a vengeance, trying to make amends for their playoff loss, and they're going to win by 2 scores over Dover. The fan vote overwhelmingly agrees, with 78% voting in favor of Green to win the game. Game number 6, the game that my colleague at Q92 Sports, Matt Morrison, is at right now. Smithfield versus Tuslaw. Similar thing for Tuslaw. 1-9 last year, they struggled. I feel like it'll take them a couple of weeks to get where they want to be in order for them to start winning games. Smithfield gets this one. They were 5-5 last year. They start off 1-0 once again, but the fan vote goes with Tuslaw. 53% agreeing with that team winning. It's going to be a tough one. Best of luck to Matt Morrison over at Q92 Sports as he makes his play-by-play debut for Q92. Looking forward to joining him next week in week number 2. Game 7, Northwest Canal Fulton versus Norton. Two facilities I visited on Holy Name's playoff push all the way back in 2021. Norton, speaking of them since 2021, they're 27-2 in the regular season. That is ridiculously difficult to produce. Each year in Region 10, they are able to make a statement. Unfortunately, they haven't won the region yet. I don't know if this is the year for them to win it, but this week they will beat Canal Fulton Northwest. Last year, they made it to the playoffs, losing to Canton South, who beat them in Week 10 as well. They'll take some time to adjust. Game number 8, Jackson versus Menor. The fan vote goes with Menor and Scotty Fox. I have to agree. The soon-to-be West Virginia quarterback is enough to will his team to victory. The Menor Cards, they've had a long line of good quarterbacks. Scotty Fox now, but going back to 2017, they had Money Mitch Trubisky, formerly of the Chicago Bears. He has been floating around the NFL as a backup the last couple of years. I believe if Fox throws for around 3,200 yards, he would set the new school record for most passing yards in a career for Menor. The fan vote, 72% agree. Going to a game over on the Keon Sports YouTube channel, 52% agree with me that Avon Lake will beat Strongsville. Nolan Beard coming back after being injured. Patel did a nice job filling in for him. Storm Miller as well should be a force for Strongsville. It's not enough to overcome the force and the sheer size of the Shoremen. They will take care of business handily. Game number 10, Lake Catholic versus Cardinal Mooney. A shootout last year in this game. I believe Frankie Trinetti, the quarterback of the Cougars, threw for almost 400 yards in week number 1. I believe he will replicate a similar result. I don't want to say 400 yards. I'm going to say more conservative 300. Nemo getting 125 of them. They will take care of business easily against Cardinal Mooney. Game number 11 over at Cleveland Brown Stadium. Avon versus St. Ignatius. Avon, they have plenty to prove after their missed field goal against Archbishop Hoban at Byers back in November. I was at that game on the sideline of Avon, if I'm not mistaken. You can just see the morale dip when that kick missed. I had the video on my phone. I saw it coming towards me. The heartbreak there and the sheer elation on the far side for Hoban. It was a great juxtaposed scene over at Byers. Avon, they're going to take out their aggression on Ignatius. They're still trying to get back to their glory days when Chuck Kyle was the head coach for a good part of a century. I say they went by a couple touchdowns. Look for Nolan Good after his collarbone injury to come back firing on all cylinders for the Eagles. Game number 12, Dorian Grant's first game as St. V's head coach. We'll see him take on Mansfield Senior, the TY Tigers. I feel like they're going to be just too much for Grant's men in this game. The Fighting Irish will have to wait until week 2 to try and get their first win under the former Ohio State defensive back. This game, looking online, 68% of you predicted Padua to win this game. The most respected man in all of quote-unquote money lines for OHSAA, Drew Pastor, has Padua as 3-point favorites in this game. I can see it. Padua has a point to prove, but so does Alliance in this game. And then finally, because I don't predict that game, because I'm calling it, we go to the 14th game. If I make predictions every week, it's just going to be someone and somewhere in the local area, and that just happens to be Alliance Marlington versus Warrensville Heights. That's my extra game. It's going to be a back-and-forth game. Marlington will have the ball at the end, and the Dukes will just squeak out a victory over Warrensville Heights. Look at the keys to victory in this game for Padua. You have to look at their mantra. Finish. That is what Coach Kubit has told his men to do this year. Like I mentioned earlier on in the pregame show, 5 out of 6 of their losses last year came after they led for a good portion of the game. They weren't able to get the job done at the end of the game. Even looking at the Holy Name game, which they won, if Roderick Love would have been a yard short on the goal line, Holy Name would have had the ball at the 50, down by less than a score with a minute and a half to go, and they drove down the field. Some desperation ensued, and Andrew Cole fumbled, giving Padua the win. But it could have been a different story if that touchdown didn't count. Padua was able to finish in that game, but they need to finish today. Next Friday, You get where I'm going with this all the way through until the game in Canton for the state title. As for Alliance, I have the same first word for them: finish. They had a lot of close games, a lot of close losses last year. Looking at their schedule, Streetsboro 37-28, Canton Central Catholic 48-46, Carrollton 31-28, West Branch 49-41, and then the Aurora game was a blowout. 4 out of their 5 losses were one-score games. That cannot happen. If they could have turned a couple more of those wins or losses into wins, yes, I know they had injuries, they would have had a lot better time and had a more favorable seeding in the playoffs, and they could have potentially made a run. But unfortunately, the injury monster got them a little too early in the year, which made it difficult for them to produce down the stretch. Going into our final segment, the key players. I have 2 players to watch for each team. I have both quarterbacks, Bo Davis and Nick Barker, but additionally the running back Rayvon Hawkins for Alliance and Christian Ruggiero for Padua. An interesting one in week 1 last year against Holy Name. He had 2 crucial pass defended in the end zone on 2nd and 3rd down, forcing Holy Name's kicker Chase Jossity to take an attempt from 30-plus yards out, which he converted. But those 4 points that Padua saved ended up being enough to sway momentum in favor of them down the stretch. So really, it's going to take everyone, whether it be a lineman, a linebacker, a defensive back, or even a holder to make an impact in this game. It's going to be a very interesting back and forth game. But if both teams can get the job done and finish, we should have an intriguing game. My X factors, the player that can make the most impact for Alliance. I have J.R. Jackson, the wide receiver. He's very versatile, also a basketball player. He had a good year last year, 19 receptions for 318 yards and 2 scores. He looks to have a bigger output and production rate this year, and I feel like he easily can. And then Roderick Love for Padua. That is a given. Anyone can tell you that Roderick Love is the X factor for the Bruins. He has been their star for years and will be for this season plus the playoffs. The unsung, these are the players to look for that can make an impact in the trenches. Jason Lewis, the right tackle and nose tackle for Alliance. He has a state championship on his resume. Yes, he transferred to Massillon after his sophomore year and has returned home to Alliance for his senior year after winning the title. And then for Padua, their left tackle and nose tackle, Brenden Zurbrugg. He could be a big impact player. He can win a game just by getting one good block. The Padua line is one of the best in the North Coast Conference, and they will show that on display here in Alliance, starting with Brenden Zurbrugg, the future Ohio Bobcat. But with that, that'll do it for the SmeeSports pregame show. Your time is 6:50. We'll be back on in a couple minutes to bring you kickoff. But stay tuned right now. Both Padua and Alliance set to take the field in the coming minutes. They're still on his feet and will be taken down after being tossed forward to around the 32-yard line. And now we welcome Bo Davis onto the field for his first career varsity start with the Aviators. Davis, the rising junior, 5'11", 165 pounds. Last year he threw a total of 3 passes, one of them completed for 49 yards and a touchdown. On defense, 12 solo tackles, 10 assisted, and 1 pick. Also plays baseball, potentially even more known for baseball. He is one of the top talents in the release pipeline. He could easily go to college to play baseball or football, depending on how this game and season and the next one goes. But Davis, looking for his first snap, will send the tight end in motion. His first snap high, and the handoff goes to Hawkins. Takes up the near side at the 35, taken out of bounds by Ruggiero. But we have our first flag of the year. It only takes 1 play from scrimmage to get it. But Ruggiero, one of the top players on this Padua defense. He is a ball hawk in the secondary, but this time around makes a tackle. Looking at last year, I believe he had a total of 32 solo tackles, 20 assisted, and 1 interception. Looking for the official call. It appears to be something against the Aviators as they are backed up plenty. It'll be first and a Walmart parking lot for the Aviators to work with. Davis calling for the ball. Now we'll look to the sideline. Hawkins to his left. It's a trips left set for the Aviators, and they will go against Padua's 3-4 defense. Davis takes a snap, dropping back. The screen pass is caught in the flats, and taking up that far sideline is Brady White. He is taken down just past the original line of scrimmage at the 34-yard line. So a nice gain of 12 on the play to set up 2nd down and 8. A nice little screen play off to the side. It gets the job done. Davis 1 for 1 now for 12 yards. But it's going to be simple plays like that for Alliance that drive them down the field. They need to be ready to have screen passes, but also not be afraid to run the football. Their running offense could be one of the best in the OHSAA if Hawkins catches steam early. High snap bobble by Davis. He now has to run out to his right. Gets out of some pressure from Arco. Still has plenty of heat. But Ryan Arco tosses him down at the 25-yard line. His first sack of the season. He looked really good in the scrimmage against Bedford a couple weeks ago. And he comes up with a play early in this game. Had 1 solo tackle and 5 assisted last year. But the senior already has 1. And even more than that, it's a sack, which now puts Alliance in a bad spot. 3rd down and 17. Ball on their own 25. Bo Davis needs to get something going. He needs to figure it out here on 3rd down and 17. We apologize for the issues. We're trying to get Ethernet working here in the box. It appears to have shut off beforehand. Davis looking to throw, needs 17, launches a high-pointed pass, and it is just out of the reach of Blair. It was a good effort, but just slipped through the wide receiver's hands, and now they'll set up 4th down and 17 as the punt unit will join us on the field for the first time this year. But Nick Barker getting ready on the Padua sideline. What does he have for an encore performance for the Bruins in 2024? Other guys that could make an impact, such as Roderick Love, who is back to receive the kick. He stands at around the 37-yard line of the Bruins. The snap is low. The punt is just off in time, almost blocked by Ruggiero. It's going to bounce into Padua territory. It's going to take a roll in favor of the Aviators, where it's finally pinned down by Brady White at around the 39-yard line. And now up steps Nick Barker for his first time on the field in 2024. 10 for 12 last year in his first game against Holy Name, which was a 21-9 win. He knows this field pretty well. His quarterback coach, Jim Ballard, a UMU legend. He was part of the team that won the Purple Raiders their first ever Division III title all the way back in 1993, and he ended up playing in 13 different seasons across 10 years in pro football in the United States and in Europe. Ballard, one of the top coaches in the area, has taken Barker under his wing and has a lot of good things to say about him. What can he perform with here? 1st down and 10, ball at the 39 of the Bruins. It's going to be a pitch to the left in favor of Love. He'll take it near the Padua sideline, cut up field, still on his feet, and is finally thrown out of bounds at around the 48-yard line. A nice little gain on the play for Roderick Love. It'll be a 9-yard carry for Roderick Love, which will now set up second down and around 1. But it's going to be plays like that that is going to give Roderick Love the majority of his yards today. Could see a couple screens, but would not be surprised to see a couple more pitches throughout the game. It'll be a simple double set here for the Bruins. Roman set in motion from left to right. Barker awaits the snap, fakes the handoff, will look to throw. Has plenty of time, the pocket quickly collapsing, and he is taken down in the backfield. An excellent sack from the Aviator defense, coming courtesy of the senior Carter Fast, which puts the Bruins offense in a tough spot back at 3rd down and 10, a loss of 9 on the play. Fast had 10 solo tackles and 13 assisted in 4 games played before he got injured in 2023. That's a welcome back gift for the Aviators, but also a welcome back greeting for Nick Barker. So 3rd down and 10, we will most likely see a pass attempt here from the Bruins. Riley Cervenka on the near side has big play potential. He has been a star for the Bruins throughout his entire career. On the far side, Barker will have Brady DeVore, Christian Ruggiero, and Gio Roman, the tight end. As a trips right set and a flag will fly, it looks like we might have an illegal procedure on the Bruins. And the Bruins will back it up even more. So now it will be 3rd down and 15. So it was 2nd down and 1 has gone back 14 yards across one play from scrimmage. So both sides showing some signs of rust early on in the game. Alliance had 3rd down and 17. The Bruins 3rd down and 15. We'll see the same trips right set on this attempt. Barker waits from the snap, gets it, will look to throw, has the block from Love. The deep ball to Cervenka is not in time, just out of the reach of Cervenka as he dives and his helmet comes off. It'll be 4th down and 15, and the punt unit for the Bruins will now come on. Once again, do apologize for the internet. It is not good here. It's unfortunate, just with the changes made in the box. Hasn't been turned on quite yet. There's still a couple weeks until Mount Union has their first game here, as they will be on the road week 1 come September 7th. So Alliance will try and return the ball. Their returner stands at the 30-yard line. 4th down and 15. The snap is there, and the punt gets off. It'll go deep into Alliance territory. Takes a good bounce. Taken in by White at around the 30. He'll take it to the left side. Gets to the 40. Still on his feet. Cutting up field. And he churns to the 41-yard line where he will be taken down. 8:34 left to go in the first quarter. 0-0 is your score. We'll step aside and be back on in a minute to bring you Alliance's second drive. .834 left to go in the first quarter at Kehres Stadium. 0-0 is your score. Both sides come up empty on their first attempt on offense. Hawkins gets some room on the screen pass as he forces his way near midfield to around the 48-yard line. Give him a gain of 8 on the play. Another nice screen pass from the quarterback. It's going to be simple plays like that that give him time to adjust to the varsity game. It is a different game from JV. Ask Nick Barker. He went through the same thing last year against Holy Name. It took him until the second half to really air the ball out. A lot of his completions were checkdowns to Riley Cervenka and as well to Roderick Love. Additionally, he lost his top option in Freddie Borky, who was expected to be the tight end, but he, along with Tyler Tosai, transferred out to the East Coast, and now they will be seniors this year. Davis on 2nd down and 2 looks for another screen, and it's just behind Blair. It could be a loose ball. It goes out of bounds. The official on the near side will call it an incomplete pass, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 for the Aviators, but that could have been disastrous. It looked definitely on the border of being a backwards pass, which would be a technical fumble. Blair just couldn't get around to the ball, but now the Aviators needing 2 yards. Wouldn't be surprised to see them try and run the ball. Looking at this Padua set, they're going to stack the box here. They have a couple DBs out wide and a couple linebackers, but right now they have 5 on the line, 2 up ends as well. High snap, it goes behind Davis. Hawkins will fall on it at around the 24-yard line. It's disaster for the Aviators as the Bruin front 5 causes some chaos. That is why you stack the box. Forced pressure on the new quarterback, and he makes an error. And now we have 4th down and 26. The Bruins will get the ball back once again unscathed, forcing a 3-and-out. It's simple plays like that that will add up in this game. We're just over 4 minutes into the new season. Both teams struggling on offense so far. Which team is going to capitalize on the other's mistake first? The punt barely gets off. Ruggiero almost gets a piece of it again. Love takes it in at midfield. Will go to the near sideline, run it up at the 40. Does a high step and barrels his way forward to the 35. And now a little bit of jarring between Love and a couple DBs. He is fired up. The Bruins in good field position. 0-0 is your score with 7:31 left to go in the first quarter. We'll step aside for a moment and rejoin you when the action resumes at Kehres Stadium. $7:31 left to go in the first quarter at Kehres Stadium. Padua's second attempt on offense hopefully will, for them, go better than the first. They came close, but a couple of miscues led them punting. Barker will send Williams in motion. He'll look to throw on first down. Screen pass caught by Cervenka. He takes a pass at 35, now past the 30. He'll be taken down by J.R. Jackson as he extends to the Aviator 27-yard line. A quick little gain of 8 on the play from Riley Cervenka, the senior. Cervenka, one of my favorite players to watch on this Padua Bruins team. He is a star no matter the sport. 388 yards last year and 4 scores. But even on the basketball court, in my words, is a grown man after crossing Holy Name guard Drew Stiers as he hit a buzzer beater to end the first half, which ended up being the difference in that game. Pitch to the left for Roderick Love, and he will be stuffed immediately. Once again, it's Carter Fash, the senior, getting in on the action, and he will send the senior Love back a few yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Bruins. Carter Fast is coming back with a vengeance this year. Played in only 4 games and had a stellar start. If he can stay healthy throughout 2024, the Aviators have a star in their secondary. Their front 8 is really dangerous as it is. They kind of run a front 7, Padua with a front 8. But it really can be a front 8. Right now, it's going to be a front 7, a 3-4 set. 3rd down 3, high snap, taken in. Love goes to the right side, tries to evade pressure, and he does. He cuts upfield past the 20. He has a chance to get in the end zone, and he will! Touchdown, Roderick Love and the Bruins! It's a 28-yard score as Love jukes the defenders and gives Padua their first 6 points of the year like he did last year. Roderick Love is a star, ladies and gentlemen. Shifty as can be, cut through a couple defenders. For a moment, it looked like he was going to get stopped before the line of scrimmage. But he cut upfield, and once he got to the 15-yard line, there was no one close to him. And he marches on in for the Bruins' first 6. And now we'll have the extra point attempt, but that is the start that Nick Barker and co. wanted to have on offense. The screenplay set up the big play. I said it earlier, the pitch will be where Roderick Love lives for most of this game, and he proved it right there. Here comes the extra point attempt from Zolkowski. And it is no good. The extra point, no good. But right now, Padua has plenty to celebrate. Roderick Love, a 28-yard house call, gets the season underway for the Bruins as they lead it 6-0 with 6:06 left to go in the first quarter. Back on from Kehres Stadium with 6:06 left to go in the first quarter of play. If you're just tuning in, Roderick Love, a 28-yard house call on a pitch to the right side, gives Padua a 6-0 lead. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. The Aviators looking to get the offense going. Bo Davis hasn't had much going for his men, and he'll have decent starting position, but 2 flags will fly late on this return, and that could be further carnage for the Aviators. It's been a rough start for them. A couple of miscues, a couple of flags, one more being thrown now. Things haven't gone right for them. But if they score a touchdown right here and get the extra point to go, they'll be up by 1. This game can easily change in a blink of an eye. Look back to last year, Padua. They trailed for most of the game until halfway through the third quarter when Roderick Love once again scored a touchdown down the right side. So now this game could easily change in favor of Alliance, but as of right now, Padua seemingly the favorite. It's been an exciting game so far. A lot of issues internet-wise. We now have one of the coaches looking for paper. Maybe he's writing down how many times Roderick Love can make an impact in this game. I think you need more than one piece of paper to count that, however. First down and 10. Davis will take it himself, runs the classic college option play, and it doesn't work out for the Aviators. The Bruin defense swarms Hawkins. He might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage. If not, he lost 1. It's definitely going to be close. They're going to say he just got back to the line. Second down and 10. The Bruin defense starting to get accustomed to what the Aviators are running, and it's really been a game of knowledge. Alliance hasn't been able to adjust to Padua, but Padua, watching the film, has been able to adjust to Alliance, and that's why we have a difference on the scoreboard. Davis will have Hawkins to his left. It's trips left. He'll look to throw on second down and 10. Pass is caught wide open to the left side. We do have a late flag. Shifting back to the left side is White, and he'll be tossed down right near the line to gain at around the 28-yard line, but this one could easily be coming back. If that one as well comes back, what a heartbreak would that be for the Aviators. They've had a couple of good plays called back so far today. A lot of penalties. Padua will take this opportunity to make some substitutions. The Alliance offense will stand back at the original line of scrimmage. So it looks like it will go against the Aviators. It might have been a late block down. As the flag was thrown on the near side, a lineman maybe had too much of a hit. It's a hold. There it is. It was too much of a hit. He was pinned down. The play was dead. It wasn't necessary. It was on the right side, but that will pin the Aviators well into their own territory. They've already had one bad snap today. They cannot afford a second early on in this game as we're just over halfway through the first quarter. So the ball will officially be spotted at the 9 for second down and a Walmart parking lot. This might be the time where you incorporate the distance from your dorm to parking. That could be the new metric. Looking to throw is Davis. Has plenty of pressure. Will step up through the non-existent pocket, and he will scramble to the left side, and he is tripped up by Ruggiero at the 16-yard line. A nice gain of 7 on the play. A nice job from Davis escaping through some pressure. The pocket collapsed. He ran right through it and made something of the attempt. That's all he needs to do. That's good awareness from the young quarterback. He has plenty of time to adjust and get into the game, but he's been thrown in the fire early and often in this game. Now we have third down and 13 on our hands. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Davis will look to the sideline for the call. Still has Hawkins to his right. 2 receivers out wide left and 2 to the right. Davis looking to throw on the right side, will launch across the middle for Jackson, and it is incomplete. Connor Williams breaks it up in the end. The Bruins star forces another 3 and out for the Aviators. Connor Williams is a stud for these Bruins. Remember the name. Last year he had 7 picks and 2 passes defended. That's a similar impact to Ruggiero last year against Holy Name. He came up and drilled Jackson. The ball was in his hands. He has some of the best hands on this team as he's one of the best corners in the county and the greater Akron-Canton area. But it wasn't enough to hold on to it. Connor Williams makes another impact play. The punt just gets off in time. Fair caught by Love as he dives on it at the 45-yard line, where the Bruins will take possession once again with 3:56 left to go in the first quarter. We'll step aside and be back when Nick Barker leads the Bruins out once again. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter of play at Kehres Stadium. Padua up 6-0, looking for more. Barker tosses for Cervenka. It's caught! No, it's not. It's just dropped at the last minute by Cervenka. J.R. Jackson in on the defense. So close to being another score and an explosive play for Nick Barker, but it just slips out of the hands of Riley Cervenka. We're going to watch it back here on the replay. You can see just how close Cervenka was to reeling this ball in. It just slipped through his fingers. Nothing more he really could have done about it. Now we have 2nd down and 10. But that is a heartbreaker for not only Cervenka, but for Barker, who should have had his first passing touchdown of the season. And after that, Coach Kubit will call time to talk things over. 3:50 left to go in the first quarter. Padua up 6-0. We'll take this opportunity to look around the grounds at some other score updates in the area. As of right now, Manor up 14-7 over Massillon and Jackson with 4:38 left to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Smithville over Tuslaw with $1:50 left to go in the first quarter. Canton Hoover hanging on to a narrow 7-6 lead over Akron Buchtel with 3:49 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Dover over Green is your score over there. And finally, 7-0 West Branch over Canfield. Those are your scores from around the grounds. We'll have plenty of updates, especially from the games, that you can find live on the Q92 website, where you'll find me next week calling a game with Matt Morrison. Back to the action here at Kehres. 3:50 left to go in the first quarter. Now 2nd down and 10 for the Bruins after the drop pass from Cervenka. Roman will be set in motion by Barker. He awaits a snap and will pitch it to the left side. Love cuts it up through the middle, gets to the outside hash, still on his feet, going to the 30, gets an extra block, still on his feet, spins back in play, and finally taken down at around the 20-yard line. He got up to the 15, but he just stepped out before it. But what another excellent run from Roderick Love as he just slides through the defenders like butter. Watch Roderick Love on this left side on the replay. He once again gets the pitch, evades a defender, and he gets a nice lead block. You can see it on your screen at the 30-yard line. That was the block that gained him a couple extra yards. Now he's in the red zone, and the Bruins are in striking distance once again. On the right side, Love to the right, 2 receivers out wide right, and 1 to the left on 1st down and 10 in the red zone for the Bruins. The fake handoff. Barker will take it himself, looking to throw. Pass is caught by Cervenka this time. He tiptoes down to the 5-yard line and makes amends for his drop. A good use of hands and a good use of toes from Riley Cervenka. High points the ball, keeps his feet in bounds, and makes a play. Padua 6 yards away from the left end zone at Mount Union. They are in striking distance once again. This is the Padua team we expected to see from the get-go. Nick Barker finding his groove. He did an excellent job going through his progressions. He steps up in the pocket, goes back, finds the open man, and makes his play. Cervenka just got rid of the last play in his mind and stepped up this time. Fake handoff. Barker keeps it, runs to the left side. He has one man to beat. He's taken down from behind at the 1. What a tackle from Brady White to stop the touchdown. Barker was about to be guaranteed a touchdown, but watch White on this play grab him from behind, just barely avoids a horse collar call, and make sure Barker stays out of the end zone for at least one more play. Do we see a QB sneak or a tush push here on 2nd down and 1? It appears that Barker will not be under center for this play. Could we see Rod Love go for his 2nd of the quarter? We will. It's handed off, and he is taken down in the backfield. Here it is once again, the Bruins on the goal line, being thrown back a couple of yards. This is where Coach Kubic's mindset of finish needs to be employed. They need to get in the end zone here. They can't settle for 3. Yes, they'd be up 9-0, but looking at the way this game is going and looking at the way that last season ended, for their confidence, they need to get in the end zone here and, as a team mantra suggests, finish. It's 3rd down and 4. 3rd down and goal to go. Barker, fake handoff, the throw across the middle to Cervenka is caught for the touchdown. Riley Cervenka makes up for his drop and gets his first touchdown of the year. Barker gets his first passing score of the year as well. The Bruins are up 12-0 and have plenty to celebrate early into 2024. Riley Cervenka is a star, ladies and gentlemen. That is the mindset of short-term memory. He had the drop earlier, made the toe drag play a couple minutes ago to set them up at the 6, and closes things out with a 4-yard score courtesy of Nick Barker. The extra point is good. Speaking of redemption from Zolkowski, the Bruins, elation on the near sideline with 2:22 left to go in the first quarter. It's the Bruins up 13-0 over the Aviators. .222 left to go in the first quarter at Kehres Stadium, home of the Alliance Aviators and Mount Union Purple Raiders. It's the Bruins of Padua up 13-0. Nick Barker, 1 passing touchdown on the year to Riley Cervenka, and Roderick Love, 1 rushing touchdown from 28 yards out. The difference in this game. The return incoming from Blair, still on his feet, goes up the middle, stays on his feet. Another hit from Williams, who finally tosses him to the turf, and a little bit of a tangle at the end as the two exchanged words, which will now put the Aviators at the 38-yard line. A few excursions of chirping between the teams. Williams in there. Ruggiero also had a little excursion with the Aviators. It's getting a little chippy near the end of the first quarter. Alliance struggling early. Bo Davis looking for some sort of spark on the offensive end of things to give the Aviators what they need to make some plays. They need to score soon. They're 10 minutes into their season and down 13. This is not the start that they wanted to have by any means. Coach Goodman knows that on the far sideline. But one play can change the trajectory of this game. Hawkins takes the handoff on 1st down and 10, and he is taken down in the backfield. Brady DeVore comes from the linebacker position and shoots the gap in the backfield, taking Hawkins down for a loss of 1. This linebacker core of the Padua Bruins has been elite today. We still haven't called the name of Devin Shaw Mason, however, the senior. He can easily change a game with one play as well. But we've called Arco's name for a sack. Brady DeVore has made his impact felt. Connor Williams and Christian Ruggiero as well doing their part. And also the front 7, they have looked elite. 2nd down and 11. Davis will look to throw. It's a launch up to Jackson. Miscommunication has the ball drop between DeVore and Ruggiero. It's 3rd down and 11. This Bruin defense is looking like a unit reborn from last year. I said it pregame. Brandon Hominy, an unsung hero. The pressure that he's created as the nose tackle has been instrumental to Padua's success. A lot of that bad snap can be really credited to him. If you're a lineman and you're facing a 3-star commit to the Ohio Bobcats, your approach is going to be a little bit different, as you know you have to beat him off the line. It's 3rd down and 11 for the Aviators as the clock rolls down. 95 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Davis looks to throw, needing 11 yards, launches it up into no man's land, and it once again drops between the Bermuda Triangle of DeVore, Williams, and Ruggiero. But we have some laundry. We might have some defensive pass interference, which would be a well-needed gift for the Aviators. This is a big call upcoming from the officiating crew as they talk things over. It's either pass interference on the defense or nothing. The judge will come to the near side to officially announce the call. They're going to call it a hold, but essentially pass interference in the high school game. It's called a little bit differently, but it appears the marker will be moved up. It'll be 3rd down and a yard for the Aviators, so it's only a 10-yard penalty as opposed to defensive pass interference. But it's a crucial yard. This might be 4-down territory. I don't know at this point in the game. I don't think Alliance is really thinking about what happens if they don't get it. They're just thinking of what could happen if they do. Coach Goodman doesn't want to get his team too much in a hole. He wants them to make something happen early. A whistle blows, potentially a timeout called by Coach Goodman. And indeed it is, with $1:31 to go in the first quarter. Coach Goodman will call the Aviators over to the sideline to talk things over, down 13-0 to the Padua Bruins. $1:31 left to go in the first quarter at Kehres Stadium. It's 3rd down and 1, a crucial down for the Aviators as they look to keep this drive going. Hawkins takes a handoff. He gets one and then some. Gets to the 49-yard line, so a gain of 2 on the play, which will give the Aviators a new set of lives as the first quarter continues to roll on as we're around 80 seconds away from its conclusion. It's been all Padua thus far. It's been a back and forth start, but the Bruins have really shut the door on the Aviators this quarter. There's still plenty of football to be played after this. Anything can really happen, but right now the Bruins are the dominant force. You really can't argue with their performance today. They came out with the mentality of finishing the job and being physical, and physical they have been. Davis will look to throw on the left side, 1st down. He'll keep it himself. Juke upfield and continue to run. Ruggiero, he can't get him down. He goes out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. Is it Lamar Jackson or Bo Davis? Give him 11 on the play. Going back to the 80s and 90s, Bo does indeed know as he does a nice job to evade some pressure, channeling his inner Roderick Love on the far sideline. It's plays like that that will get the Aviators back into this football game. If they can put some points on the board before the quarter ends, that would be huge for them and their confidence as the sun starts to set on this Friday in August in Alliance. 1st down and 10, ball spotted at the 39-yard line. Davis has Hawkins to his right. He will look to throw, looking right. Stepping up, launches across the middle, passes out of the hands of J.R. Jackson and into the Bermuda Triangle where it falls. But Jackson needed to get that ball in. Looking at the replay on the board in the stadium, not going to show the replay on the broadcast. Some pressure behind, forces a throw, but just slips out of the hands of J.R. Jackson. But Connor Williams was really close to getting a hand on the ball. Potentially could have changed the trajectory of this game once again, even more in favor of the Bruins. Now Coach Goodman will get some sort of explanation from the official on the far side. Don't see any flags down. Maybe he wanted some kind of different call. We'll see if the official says anything. They're talking to each other on the sideline nearest to us. And now it appears that Padua's sideline will get some sort of explanation. The ball appears to be staying still. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 as of right now. But we do have some confusion nearing the end of this first quarter. And additionally, during this slight little break, SmeeSports will be doing plenty more broadcasts throughout the upcoming, however you want to say it. I don't have the graphic on right now, but here it is. If you're looking to sponsor, send me an email at the email on your screen, smee00@gmail.com. If you're a local small business looking to sponsor some broadcasts, if you're in the Alliance area, that works. If you're from NEO like Parma, when I'm home for breaks, I'm looking to do broadcasts, I am more than willing to work out a deal to sponsor. We'll see what happens. Send me an email if you are interested. Hawkins tripped up from below. That'll make it 3rd down and long as Arco near the play, but it ends up being Devonshaw Mason. First time we're saying his name, he makes the play. He's a game wrecker in his own right. It's not really the loudest play, but it helps the Bruins defense. They have 9 yards behind them. 3rd down and 9. The clock continues to run. The Aviator can easily let the clock run out or run another play. If I had to bet, I think they're going to let the clock run. And indeed they do. The whistle blows to signal the end of the first quarter. And a successful first quarter it was for the Padua Bruins, who find themselves up 13-0 over the Alliance Aviators. We'll take a moment to step aside and regroup and be back on in a minute to bring you the second quarter. Beginning of the second quarter in Alliance, the Aviators find themselves down 13-0 to the Padua Bruins. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. A special word of welcome to all those watching back in Parma, where the Bruins play their home games. Glad to have you on the broadcast tonight. Davis will juke and move upfield, slides before the line of gain. He'll be 2 yards shy. He's a young quarterback, but that's one of those plays where you need to be aware of where the line to gain is. We'll watch it back on the screen, not on the broadcast. He could have had it if he continued going to his right. It's one of those plays that if you're an older quarterback, maybe you go for those extra 2 yards, but he's younger. He's getting used to the game. You really can't fault him. He's only a quarter into his varsity career as a starter, taking over for a Oklahoma quarterback. He doesn't have small shoes to fill by any means. You got to give him a little bit of room to work. He has 2 yards to gain here. If he gets them, all will be forgiven. Heavy pressure from the Bruins. A screen is caught by Hawkins. He'll be taken down well short. It's Christian Ruggiero and Devonshaw Mason who gets the love from the Bruins coaching staff as they force a stop on 4th down and give the offense back possession. Devonshaw Mason has really exploded to end the first quarter and begin the second. He and Ruggiero, along with a lot of other guys, have made impact plays throughout this game. This Padua Bruins defense has been monstrous, to say the least. They have set up their offense many times, and the few errors that the Padua offense has made so far have been made up by the defense. This unit has looked extremely good throughout the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it continue to dominate. And now we have some Wildcat action. It's Love under center. He'll take the direct snap on 1st down, and he is not dragged down, just barely gets out of the tackle, and he will make something of it. He is stumbling forward. He might have the 1st down. He's going to be just at the line of gain. Will they move the chains? Yes, they will. Rod Love is about to be dragged down in the backfield by Carter Fast, but he just somehow evades the tackle and gains 10 for a 1st down. He is a magician with the football. The Wildcat formation, a bold call from Padua on 1st down. It clearly pays dividends. What should have been a loss of a couple is a 1st down, and that is why Padua is winning this football game. They know how to really fight, and as their mantra suggests, finish. Barker back in the game. Will have a flag greet him immediately. It looked like an Aviator on the near side. Number 15, Alex Hartman, the QB2 of the team, may have jumped early, and it appears that's the call. So that will move Padua closer to Aviator territory. Put the ball at the 46-yard line. We'll have first down and 5. Barker will be on the field. This will be his first play from scrimmage of this possession. Roman sent in motion from left to right, right to left, and we have some early action up front this time for the Bruins. The right guard, Jacob Dusek, goes early, and that will move Padua right back. 1 minute of our lives gone, and we're back to where we started. Sometimes you just have a couple plays like that where at one point it's first down and 5, but then an error on the team that was just given a gift sends it right back. Ball back at the 41-yard line. There is the Alliance student section with the "You Can't Do That" chant. Pass in the flats, caught by Ruggiero, cuts up field, gets back to where they were on the prior snap. Exactly a gain of 5 from Ruggiero, sets up second down and 5. Ruggiero has done his job on both sides of the ball. A lot of Padua Bruins graduating last year, but the core of this team basically all returned. Connor Williams on the sideline right now. You also have Brady DeVore on the sideline, who had themselves near the top of the depth chart. We're seeing Ryan Arco get a decent run out as well, as he has looked really good on both sides of the ball thus far. Second down and 5. Barker will hand the ball off to Love, and he is stuffed right up the middle, but gets out of it and gets a first down. Houdini dives forward to around the 46-yard line. Plenty enough to move the chains, and plenty enough to get Padua back into Aviator territory. Just when you think Roderick Love has been stopped, his legs continue to churn, and he somehow makes something out of nothing. His yards after contact numbers in this game have to be through the roof. There is no way he doesn't have more than 30 yards after contact in this game. He has looked impressive, and that's coming from someone who has seen him play all 3 years of his high school career beforehand. He was a star before. He is a superstar now. Barker, the slow fake, will go to the right side, has no one near him in that zip code, looks to throw, but instead he is taken down. A nice hit from Cam Burton, crashing down from his DB position to sack the quarterback. Barker had plenty of time, but used too much. It's simple plays that get teams back into games. I've said it throughout this broadcast, because Alliance needs that simple play. That could be the simple play. You'll see it here. Barker, plenty of time, just rolls out to his right. Burton does a nice job coming down and crashing. Very similar to a play that happened a couple years ago. Since graduated linebacker of holy name William Dix did a similar thing, coming off the QB spy and taking down the quarterback at that time, Tyler Tosai. A very similar play, but from two different positions. Barker, screen pass, caught by Love on the left side on second down and 17. Has some room to go. Still being hit as he churns forward. Give him to the 47-yard line. So back to the original line again. We'll have third down and 10. Another nice run from Roderick Love, making something out of nothing, pushing forward for a couple extra yards. Those couple extra yards could be the difference between a punt and this being 4-down territory. Padua right now has nothing to lose. If this is fourth down and 4 or closer, I would be surprised to see Padua's offense taken off the field. They're going to go for the glory and try and make something happen. They're up 13. Why not? 7 minutes now left to go in the quarter. Barker, needing 10, has plenty of pressure, and he is taken down. It's the big man up front, Malachi Thomas Allen, coming in. The 6'4", 250 defensive tackle throws Barker to the turf and brings the punting unit of the Bruins onto the field. Another nice play from the front seven of both teams. The defensive linemen have been stellar for both sides today, causing errors, causing big tackles, causing big hits. It's been fun to watch both sides go at it in that regard. The difference has been the skills. Alliance will get another chance on offense after this punt, barring any trickery. High snap taken in. The punt is sent off. A good punt from the Bruins. Still going back. Taken in at the 15-yard line of the Aviators. And taking up the far sideline is White. He still is on his feet as he is finally tossed down just past the 40-yard line at the 42. 6:06 left to go in the first half. But we do have a flag before we go to the timeout. Potentially a late hit as a Bruin is down on the far left side. We'll check back in on that in a minute. The down player from the Padua Bruins, Caleb Zolkowski, able to get off the field with the help of the training staff. It appeared to be some kind of late flag on the Aviators just after it went to the break, which puts them at their own 27-yard line with 6:06 left to go in the first half. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening of Week 1 football. Football is back, and it is great. OHSAA Football should have a great year this year. They have been in the system of 7 divisions for a long time now, the other sports joining them. Bo Nose throws across and finds his receiver. It's a quick fire throw, a gain of 11, puts Davis and the Aviators one step closer, give them a first down as it's Tajay Nicholson across the middle. There it is once again. Bo Davis settling into this game more now. He's starting to take risks, throwing across the middle. He has a crisp throw. We saw that there. If he can continue doing things like that, the Aviator offense should be in good shape. Once again, he'll throw, and he is clobbered, taken down in the backfield. Absolutely no chance to evade that pressure, as it's Dominic Hankins, the senior, getting back for the second sack of the game from the Bruins. The defensive line of the Bruins has been stifling all game, and there it is once again. They go to their first defensive tackle on the depth chart, and he makes a play across the board. Dusek, Hamidi, Hankins even go down the depth chart in some other positions. Everyone has made a play at some point in this game, and it has made this a fun watch. 5:02 left to go in the first half. Davis will get it. 3, throws to the side, pass is caught, and a swarming Bruin defense takes down the receiver quickly. There it is once again. You see these kind of drills when you go to a high school football practice. It's go to the ball. You make your move, you put the ball somewhere, the whole team runs towards it. That is what that really looked like on display for the Bruins. Once again, an excellent play made, which now sets up 3rd down and 21. So plenty of room to work with, but plenty of room to get if you're the Aviators. Do we see the long ball from Davis? He's going to try and draw him offside. It's not going to work. It's a trips right set. Davis looking to throw, has plenty of time, launches on the near sideline, trying to find Nicholson just out of his reach. Her correction goes for J.R. Jackson. Arco, the nearest defender for the Bruins. It's 4th down and 21 as the Aviator punting unit will once again take the field. Looking back at this play, it's the front 3 getting some pressure, but not enough. That ball needed to be there. It was a close ball. Jackson did a nice job to get some separation. Arco closed it down at the end, but still, it did not matter as the throw was just off the mark. Padua has a chance to get the ball back in prime field position. Low snap on the punt. Ruggiero got a piece of it, I think. It will roll into Padua territory. Love thought about going for it. It continues to roll. Ruggiero, if he didn't get a piece of it, definitely got within a few centimeters of the ball. Ruggiero has been a menace off the end. But with 3:55 left to go in the first half, the Bruins will take back possession in their own territory. To stay up to date on all the games I'm covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFest2024 on Twitter to stay up to date with all things related to Mount Union. Follow Mount Union on their social medias, including Greater Student Media and 91.1 WRMU. Additionally, I will be on the Q92 Sports channel next week, as I will be calling a game on the radio. Go give them a follow on their social media pages. Love takes the pitch on 1st down and 10. Cuts up the hash. Still on his feet, being torn. Gets into Aviator territory, where he's finally thrown down at around the 48-yard line. Give Love a decent gain of 14 on the play. And as well, subscribe here to the YouTube channel if you are new, looking to get to 250 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. This broadcast was not an easy one to put together by any means. Football, not a sport you can do by yourself. Commentary is one thing, but you need a crew. So shout out to fellow Mount Union freshmen Megan McCafferty and Eliza Boatsman for running the scoreboard and the camera, respectively. We're doing our best here. It's kind of tough. The internet has really made this a difficult game to do. We've made do with what we can, especially for the Padua fans at home. I wanted to make sure that you guys could watch this game. It was great that you guys brought me in to do media for the team. I might be a Holy Name kid, but I really do appreciate the support that all of Bruin Nation has given me throughout my career thus far. It's really cool seeing that side of the rivalry. I saw it as well with Lake Catholic. They were another big supporter of mine throughout my time at Holy Name as the voice of the Namers. So, to you guys at home, not only the Padua fans, but also the Alliance fans, thank you, as Alliance was also a big supporter back in February or early March when I called the Holy Name versus Alliance basketball game, which saw Alliance win in an upset fashion in Parma Heights. That was a great game. Got to talk to a couple of key players after the game, including J.R. Jackson and former wide receiver of the Aviators, Jaden Proctor. A couple of those guys honored before the game. We do have an injured player for the Aviators limping off the field to their sideline. Thomas Allen, who had the sack earlier on in the quarter, limps off with his helmet off, hoping to see him get into the game once again later on. But as of right now, the Aviators will look to stop the Bruins offense without him on the field. If you're just tuning in, this has been a game dominated by the Bruins. They have looked really good from the third possession forward. They struggled early, but made amends. Roderick Love has looked like a star once again. Riley Cervenka has looked like a star once again. Nick Barker really settling in. The clock will run. 3:47 left to go now in the first half. Barker will work with a doubles right set on 1st down and 10. Ball spotted at the 48 of the Aviators. Tight end set in motion. Barker dropping back, looking to throw. Has Cervenka across the middle. Instead goes for Love down the right side. It is caught by Roderick Love. He goes out of bounds, but just did enough to keep his feet in bounds, putting Padua in the red zone. What a play from Roderick Love. The toe tap of dreams puts Padua in the red zone. Barker just chucks the heave-ho downfield. He knew Love would get there, and he did just enough to get to the ball, which now sets Padua up at the 14 of Alliance. Roderick Love can do it in the backfield, but also can do it as a wide receiver. Going back to last year, Roderick Love had only 194 yards receiving, 172. So for him to make a play like that early on, impressive. Barker stepping up through some pressure, and he has taken down a horde of Aviators. Swarm Barker as he tries to get back to the line to gain. It looks like he does not. Actually, it looks like he barely gets past it. They'll give him a yard on the play, bringing up 2nd down and 9 with 3:23 and counting left to go in the first half. We'll also have some score updates at the half of some local games, especially the 7 that are live right now on the Q92 Sports website. So tune in to those games at the half to see what's going on, and as well, check back next week on my social medias to see which game I'll be calling for Q92 as I make my radio debut for them. The trips left set here on 2nd down and 9. Barker will look to throw, but we will have the play stopped beforehand. It looks like a false start, and that will make Padua's job just a little tougher in the red zone. Or correction, as you know, will be a timeout called before anything could really happen. Padua, I believe, now has 1 timeout left to use. We'll step aside at this time as well. 2:52 left to go in the first half. The Bruins driving up 13-0. Just under 3 minutes left to go in the first half in Alliance. It's Padua up 13-0 as they look for more. Screen pass caught by Love on the left side. Cuts back up the gut. Going in, and he scores. Roderick Love, his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. His first in the air. Puts Padua up 19-0 over the Aviators. Roderick Love is having a great welcome party to the 2024 campaign, and so are his Bruins. Watching it back on the replay, Roderick Love once again commits to the left but cuts right back up the gut. One of the shiftiest running backs in all of the OHSAA. If it wasn't for Bo Jackson or Marquise Davis of Cleveland Heights, I believe you'd put him as the top guy in Next Gen's rankings that were recently published. He is ranked number 41 in the state in talents. He might be moving up that power ranking list after this performance. 2 first-half touchdowns. The Bruins firing on all cylinders, up 20-0 over the Alliance Aviators. We'll step aside with 2:46 left to go in the first half and be back on in a minute. Padua dominating so far in the first half, up 20-0 over the Alliance Aviators. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. Stay tuned at halftime for the halftime report as we look at scores around the area, especially the games covered by Q92 Sports on the radio. An excellent return here from White on the far side. He gets well into Padua territory, still on his feet on the far side, gets past the 40 and the 35. He is marked down officially at the 34-yard line. An excellent return from Brady White, the captain. He has been due for a big return, and there it is. That will set the Aviators up nicely as they're looking for some sort of spark in the first half, as this game has not gone their way quite yet, but one play can change that. They're looking for momentum going into the half. This game is still anyone's game. It's not out of reach quite yet. It's 20-0. If Padua could put one more touchdown on the board, then maybe you say this game is out of reach. But as of right now, the Aviators have a good chance to stay in this game and make some noise. This is their home field. Let's see what they can do with it. Hawkins on first down will run it up the gut. Has a first down and more. Has Williams to beat. Williams drags him down from behind, but he gets well into the red zone as he is taken down finally at the 10. It's a gain of 24 on the play for the running back Hawkins, who has his first real big play of the afternoon. Rayvon Hawkins, we know he has that capability similar to Roderick Love. That's the first time he has really displayed it. He's had a couple of nice plays, but this one, the most important, the Aviators now knocking on their end zone for the first time this year. Barker getting his helmet on the sideline. He's anticipating the score. Hawkins takes the handoff, cuts field, and is taken down. Devin Shaw Mason once again comes in on the play and celebrates big time. He's a one-man wrecking machine for a reason. We didn't say his name much in the first part of the first quarter, but since around the 4-minute mark of the first quarter, we have said his name constantly on the defensive end. I said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it a million more times. Devin Shaw Mason is a one-man wrecking machine. That's what you want from your Mikey linebacker, to come into a game and make a play like that constantly throughout the ball game. This now pins Alliance 4 yards back at the 14-yard line. Davis looking to throw. Pass is caught by Hawkins as he tiptoes his way into the end zone. Alliance gets 6 points back as Bo Davis has his first career passing touchdown as the starting quarterback of the Alliance Aviators, his second career overall touchdown. A nice touchdown pass from Davis. They were backed up, but they made something out of nothing. Rayvon Hawkins, we've been waiting for him to make the play that gets the Aviators on the board. He set it up. One play moved him back, but he makes up for it and finds the house for 6. The Aviators are back in business. $1:18 left to go in the first half. Is that enough time for the Bruins to score? Barker thinks it is, and so does Roderick Love. If you're Alliance, you're just hoping this isn't enough time for Padua to score. I feel like if they would have scored with 45 seconds on the clock, that would have been a lot better. And a heavy hit there. It's off the post. No good. Williams got drilled as the Aviator tried getting it off the post to try and take it in. An inadvertent hit. But just like Padua on their first touchdown, the extra point is missed. But the Aviators, they have their first points of the year on the board, courtesy of a 14-yard score from Rayvon Hawkins. $1:18 left to go in the first half. It's the Bruins up 20-6. $1:18 left to go in the first half at Kehres Stadium. We do apologize for the glare. We realized it's here. You can kind of see us. Unfortunately, we do not see where the light switch is. There might be something actually on the ceiling. I don't know if we want to test that or not. We will see. We'll try to turn off the light, hopefully, at halftime. Once we do that, stay tuned for the halftime report as we look at scores from around the grounds and recap what has happened in an eventful, really, second quarter of the first half. The first quarter, not much scoring, but the second half has been exciting. The Bruins will take it in at the 30-yard line. Zurbrugg will tiptoe his way out of bounds at the 35, and now Nick Barker will lead the group out once again with $1:16 to work with in the first half. Nick Barker has looked really good in game number 1 of his senior season. Roderick Love definitely on his way to player of the game honors. Riley Zurbrugg has made a couple impact plays, but last year Barker 10 for 12, 72 yards and a pick. I don't know his exact stats right now, but I feel like what he has right now is a lot better than last year. The 2 passing touchdowns looking really good on his resume. And even the incompletions that he's had were not really his fault. He has looked stellar, and I'm sure he's making Mount Union legend Jim Ballard very proud tonight. Handoff goes to Love, but he slips. A turf monster gets him right around the line of scrimmage. Give him a gain of 1 in the play to the 36, setting up 2nd down and 9. The Aviator defense really had no answer for Roderick Love, but the turf monster can humble really anyone, and Roderick Love paid his dues with it just there. The clock continues to run. 50 seconds left to go. Padua might need to pick up the urgency. The trip's right set. Barker will drop back and look to throw. Has plenty of time. Launches across the middle for Ruggiero, and it's just out of the hands of Brady White. He had the interception right there, but just couldn't hang on. That has been the story of the game. A couple of drops on both sides. J.R. Jackson had one earlier across the middle, but this one might be the most heartbreaking, as that would have given Alliance back the ball with 41 seconds to work with in the first half, and you can see White's reaction. He knows he should have had that ball, but now redemption will be the name of the game on 3rd down and 9 for the Aviator defense. Trips to the right for the Bruins. Barker will most likely throw once again. Instead, he hands it off to Love on the right side, trying to cut upfield. He does. He gets the first down and then some as he stumbles forward. Do we see a timeout call from Coach Kubit as the clock continues to run? 33 seconds on it. The chains will move, so we'll have a little bit of a stoppage before the clock will run once again. The Bruins will most likely go into their 2-minute offense, into their scramble drill. If they want to get out of the field, the clock will run with 31 seconds now on the clock. The Bruins will set up 1st down and 10 at the 47. No urgency from the Bruins. The clock continues to run. Now 20 seconds left to go. The play clock reads 14. Does Barker take one chuck to the end zone and go to the locker room? It's trips left. What can Barker do? The screen pass caught by Ruggiero low. Actually, no, it hits the ground. So the clock will stop with 11 seconds to go as Barker's throw just not there to Ruggiero. I don't know. Watching back the replay on the TV next to us, it was definitely close. It might not have hit. It was definitely a bang-bang call, but they call it dead. In all honesty, that probably benefits Padua more than it benefits Alliance. It stops the clock, and they can regroup, and Barker can take his chuck if he wants to. Or the name of the game, if it's to get in the field goal range, you get a screen pass more down the field. Timeout will be called. And it'll be an Alliance timeout. The Aviators will talk things over with 11 seconds left to go in the first half. we'll step aside for our final timeout before we go into the halftime break. The Bruins up 20-6 over the Alliance Aviators. Time this year, up 20-6. J.R. Jackson followed Barker for a minute before he jogs back to his side. Going into the locker room, it's two different conversations. If you're Coach Kubit, you got to give your guys kudos for regrouping after a rough start in this game. If you're Coach Goodman, you have to applaud the touchdown, but you need more. You need a couple interceptions. You need a couple big plays to make up the 13-point deficit. Stay tuned as we will bring the halftime report to you in a couple minutes. But before we go to the break, to stay up to date on all the games I'm covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram. Then on all action in the area, follow your local radio station, your local school, whatever it may be. To find me next week, follow Q92 on Twitter and Instagram, where I'll be making my radio debut with them alongside Matt Morrison as he came along this year to join Q92, coming over from YSN. Looking forward to working with Matt next week. He's making his debut right now at Tushlaw as they take on Smithville. I'll be joining him at a location to be named later to call my first game as a color commentator in my career. Looking forward to that change of pace. We'll get some games as a play-by-play down the stretch of that year. And finally, subscribe here to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I go live. My goal is to get to 250 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. It's been a tough game so far. A lot of notes, a lot of research, my voice being strained. Hopefully we can make it through to the second half. I'm going to take a rest here and back on in a couple minutes to bring you the halftime reports live from Kehres Stadium. Halftime at Kehres Stadium in Alliance. The Padua Bruins up 20-6 over the Alliance Aviators. I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon, and I will be bringing you the halftime report live from Kehres Stadium. A lot of good games going on in the local area, such as West Branch over Canfield. It's a 13-0 lead for the Warriors. Surprisingly, they are doing a great job of taking down the Cardinals. It could be a surprise, but it had to come eventually. West Branch, well on their way to beating their rivals Canfield. Another shocker, Akron Buchtel up 14-13 over North Canton Hoover Vikings at the half. Close game there. It's a one-point game. Anything can happen. Speaking of one-point games, with a 14-13 scoreline, Menor up 14-13 over Massillon Jackson. That game at halftime at JTO. We have a tied game between Green and Dover, 14-all at the half. Smithville up 10-0 over Tuslaw at the half. And other scores, we have Louisville up 7-0 over New Philly, a shocker over there. And looking to my alma mater, down 26-0 to Lakeview. That game not really too far away from us here. Still pretty far, but a shocker over there. Lakeview taking care of business. Holy Name, a lot of work to do. The other side of the Parma Holy War, not much work to do. Nick Barker, 2 passing touchdowns. Roderick Love, 2 touchdowns of his own. 1 rushing and 1 receiving. As for Alliance, it's been Rayvon Hawkins. He's our main guy on offense. Looking at his production today, he had 1 big play that set up his second big play, which was his receiving touchdown. Bo Davis has been a little mixed, but that's to be expected. He's taking over for Zurbrugg, who is one of the best quarterbacks in all of Alliance history. He hasn't done a bad job. Unfortunately, defense has allowed 20 points, but 1 play can really change this game. Maybe 1 interception, if it would have gone differently looking at Brady White's. That would have been enough to really switch momentum in this game and make it where Alliance could realistically be down by 6 right now going into the second half. Instead, it's a 13-point game. Still 7.5 minutes left to go in halftime. You have to wonder what Coach Goodman is saying to his guys right now in the locker room. It can be 1 of 2 things. 1, what is going on? Or 2, what can we do well that we have already done in this game and add on to it? I feel like he's going for the second. In the few interactions I've had with Coach Goodman, he seems like a guy who's going to focus on more making sure the good is done better and the bad is done slightly better. He's going to focus on slight improvement opposed to berating the team and bringing them down. He's going to make it where they can easily make adjustments, whether it be, okay, Bo, take less time in the pocket. Be ready to go after 2 seconds. Looking at the running game, don't be afraid to switch field. Receivers, catch the ball. Make sure you come down with it. I'd rather you come down with the ball and get a couple less yards than not come down with the ball at all. I feel like something along those lines is being said. As for Coach Kubit, 1 word is being said. Finish. They're up. Once again, 5 of their 6 games last year that they lost, they were leading for most of the game. They're up 13. It'd be a lot of points to make up if you're Alliance, but it could easily happen. Nick Barker making his way back out from the locker room. A lot of Padua's success this half will rely on him. If he can continue to play the way he has in this first half, there is no reason why the Bruins will not be 1-0 after this game. But if the Aviators can capitalize on a couple mistakes, we might have a new ball game on our hands. That will be it for the halftime report. We'll be back on in around 6 minutes to bring you the second half of this exciting Week 1 matchup. We're back from the break in Alliance. It's 20-6 in favor of the Padua Bruins on your screen. Before we get into the action, if you would like to be a sponsor, if you're a small business owner, email me at nsme00@gmail.com. Might be a little difficult to see on the screen right now. The light we're going to have to deal with. From what I've been told, the light in this press box area is controlled by a switch in the hall. Now that switch controls the whole hallway. That light must stay on. So, by extension, this light stays on. So, I apologize for the glare. We do have a bug on the outside of the window. It's what we have to work with. We had a similar issue if you have followed my career at Canfield. A little bit darker of a box, but still had to go and film through a window. Made it a little bit more difficult, but we worked with it. In that game, it was a blowout. This one, a little bit closer. 20-6, Padua. They've looked good at times, but also have struggled. Alliance have had a couple of flashes in the pan. If they can make those flashes more constant, then they will be set up for success. And for the Bruins, all they need to do is do exactly what they did in that first half, and they will walk out of here with a big victory over Alliance. This has been a great game. This is what Padua needed coming off the 44-41 loss to Walsh to end 2023. It was a heartbreaking end. They used it as fuel, and they are taking it out on Alliance. We see that in a lot of games where teams will take out their anger, not on the team that they necessarily lost to. Looking at the Avon Ignatius game, it's 21-7 at the half in favor of Avon. They had the heartbreaking loss against Hoban, and I said it pregame. They're going to want to take out that anger on a team. Nolan Good taking out that anger, especially on his end because he couldn't play in that Hoban game. He was hurt. It ended up going to Blake Elder, Coach Elder's son, who did a great job in that game. But he felt robbed of an opportunity to play Final Four football at Byers, and he's come out with a vengeance and has taken it out on St. Ignatius. Padua, they're taking out the anger they had against Walsh on this Alliance team. And when they see Walsh later on this year, we might have ourselves an instant classic. Might not be an instant classic on the same spectrum as the game last night between Ursuline and Walsh, which ended up being a 37-35 Walsh win. But it could be a good back-and-forth game, kind of similar to what we saw at Padua Lake Catholic last year. It was a good back-and-forth game between Trinetti and Barker. But for this game, I think we're going to see simple football on both sides for the next 24 minutes. They're going to try and work things out. And if you're Alliance and if you're Bo Davis, you're going to prove why you won the starting job over Alex Hartman. That is his goal. If he can do that, he's going to prove why he's the starter, but also give Alliance a good chance to win. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, I believe Padua will begin with the ball, and Barker can kind of put this game to bed. But if the Aviator defense can get a stop, this game completely flips on its head, and we might see an outbreak of scoring for the Aviators, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. For Alliance next week is Louisville, a team that they can really put some points on the board against. And then Streetsboro, who's taking on CVCA right now, and the tough running back Joey Kopeck. Rayvon Hawkins needs to be ready to take on Streetsboro week 3. I don't have a score update from the game in Streetsboro, but if Joey Kopeck gets shut down, Rayvon Hawkins needs to watch that film tonight. But focusing on this game, let's see some good football. Let's enjoy the final 24 minutes of week 1. We have OHSAA football back. College football returns tomorrow. Life is pretty good right now, unless you're a high school student with a test on Monday. If you are, I do apologize to you. I really can't say much. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of finals come December, and I'm going to be very upset. But right now, let's enjoy some football. That's all we really can do. Looking as well around the grounds, looking for some other updates, not in the local area, but going back more towards Parma. Westlake and Midview tied up at 14. Going to do a simple refresh. 27-0 North Ridgeville over North Olmsted after 1. That is the last update from that game I can find right now. Looking around, Bay up 14-0 over Cleveland Central Catholic at the half. Streetsboro, there we go, up 13-7 over CVCA. And any more that we can find? It appears not right now. We have heard some throughout the game, such as 35-0 VASJ. That may be a little bit of a shock, but just like Bo Davis knows, Bo Jackson does indeed know. The Aviators will kick off as we are underway in the second half. 24 minutes of football left to go in week one. Cervenka takes that out of bounds at the 30, and Nick Barker will rejoin the party at that yard line. Him and Rod Love have been a two-man wrecking machine so far this game, and he'll look to continue to be that in the second half. Padua cannot take their foot off the gas. They have looked good, yes, but they've also had a couple of things not really go their way. They've had a couple of plays get called back. If they can focus on their football and score here, a methodical drive. I don't want to see them get in the end zone until maybe 7:30 to 6 on the clock. Drill plenty of time and make the comeback for Alliance nearly impossible. First play from scrimmage of the second half will be a pass screen caught by Love at the line of scrimmage. He'll go from left to right, cutting back near the 40, shifts back inside, and will finally be tossed down at around the 41-yard line. A gain of 11, enough to move the chains for a first down, and yet another excellent play from Roderick Love as he shows his elusiveness. Goes from left to right to back to central. It's a really impressive play from Roderick Love as he once again shows off his shiftiness. If he can continue to do that early and often in the second half, this is what Padua will rely on. Right now, Rod Love on the sideline will be hobbling a little bit, kind of pointing to his right angle. He will go and talk to a trainer. Now Alliance, this is when you send the pressure. You're going into the second stringers of the Bruins. Barker fakes the handoff, will look to throw, has plenty of pressure trying to evade it, but he is taken down. Two Aviators in on the play. Carter Fast rejoins the party along with DJ Gieselman. Both of them crash down on Nick Barker and make something happen. It's another nice play from the defensive line of the Aviators, now setting Padua up in second down and 14 territory with a second string running back in the game, with it being Dominic Santoro, the sophomore. We saw him along with Chase Weiser get some action against Bedford in the scrimmage. Both of them looked really good in that game despite the outcome for the Bruins. A trips left set here on second down and 14. Barker looks to throw, plenty of pressure. Pass caught in the flats by Cervenka. Has plenty of room upfield. Gets a nice block into Aviator territory where he tiptoes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Another big play from Riley Cervenka moves the chains into Aviator territory. Barker does a better job this time. He lets the pressure come to him, which leaves Cervenka wide open, and an excellent block downfield. Jacob Dusick, the right guard, you can see it on your screen on the near side, comes in and blocks down on the Aviator linebacker, which gives Cervenka an extra 5 to 10 yards to work with, and that sets up Padua nicely at the 46. The momentum will continue to roll for the Bruins. They have a tight end on each side of the left and right tackle. Handoff will go to Love, who's back in the game. Cuts back to the left, but is tripped up by the ankle. He maybe gets one on the play, which will set up second down and 9. Not necessarily where Rod Love wants to be tackled down given the ankle pain. He did miss that scrimmage against Bedford, I believe, due to some ankle pain. So, right now, if you're Alliance, you've got to have that in your back pocket. But if you're Padua, you have to be careful with Roderick Love. You don't need him on the field every play. They're going to try and put him on the field every play, but they don't need to. That's just how good this team is. Second down and 10. Ball at the 46. Same set as last time. Two receivers out wide, one to each side. Handoff will go to Love on the left side. He gets a lead block. Tries to cut back, but is tripped up at around the 42-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, which will set up third down and medium for the Bruin offense. So third down and 6 at the 42. Padua making some substitutions. Williams and Ruggiero on the near side along with DeVore will get the call. Would not be surprised to see a trip set based off of this, and we will. It'll be Cervenka, the lone man on the left side, with Williams, Ruggiero, and DeVore on the right side. Rod Love to the left side of Nick Barker on this important third down and 6. Barker will look to throw, has plenty of time, finds Cervenka on the sideline, and it's caught. Another toe drag swag play for Cervenka as it moves the chains once again for another Padua first down. Riley Cervenka on the sideline has been lethal today. Since the drop, something has changed in his mentality. He's going to the sideline. He's focusing on his footwork. He's focusing on making the simple play, and that has made him a better football player in this game for the Bruins, and it is paying dividends for Padua right now. Do we see a run play to follow it up? First down and 10 at the 33 of Alliance. Roman will be set in motion once again. A heavy stack to the right. Handoff will go to the left side instead. Love cuts up the middle, has plenty of room, and he is loose again. It's a hat trick of touchdowns for Roderick Love as he puts Padua up 26-6. The domination continues from RB1. Roderick Love is unstoppable in this game. No matter what Alliance sets at him, he somehow is able to beat it. Whatever is sent near him, it's basically he's immune to it. It's kind of like in Pokemon. We're going to do a weird example here. Just the immunity card. Attack not effective. Whatever they send, whether it be stacking the box, bringing a spy on the running back, bringing a more stacked presence from the secondary over to whatever side Love is on. No matter what they've tried, it hasn't worked. Why? Because Roderick Love is that elite. 3 touchdowns on opening day, and Padua will go for 2. Barker looking to throw, will roll out to his right. The pass a little bit low as it bounces to his intended receiver, but it doesn't matter. Roderick Love responsible for 18 of the 26 points on the board for Padua. It's a hat trick for number 10 with 8:23 left to go in the third quarter. The Bruins restore a 20-point lead. It's the Rod Love Show in Alliance. The Bruins of Padua up 26-6 over the Alliance Aviators. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. The darkness has come out, but so has Roderick Love, and that ball is bobbled out of bounds by the Aviators. This time, it's Brady White who tips it out of play, so that will put Bo Davis in a tougher spot coming on the field down by 20. With less than 20 minutes to go, or right around 20 minutes to go in the ball game, to make something happen for Alliance. There really hasn't been any spark in this game besides the touchdown that was set up by a spark courtesy of running back Rayvon Hawkins. He has been the sole sparker of the offense. He had the rush that set them up. He then loses his yard and then gets open in the flats for Bo Davis' first career passing touchdown as the starter. Not his first career passing touchdown with Alliance. He had one last year as he went 1 for 3 for 49 yards and a score. High snap. Davis gets it down. Hawkins is drilled in the backfield, dragged down once again. Dom Hankins getting in once again. Second time we've called his name today, setting up second down and long for the Aviators. This Bruin front 7, or at some points front 8, is impenetrable. They've made really no errors tonight. They've done an excellent job keeping spies employed, crashing down, moving out into coverage, everything, the whole 9 yards. It's been basically perfect. You really couldn't have asked for anything more from this Bruin defense. If you would show me this tape, I would say this is a team well into a playoff push. Davis, evading pressure, steps up, and once again, it's Dom Hankins in on a big play. The big defensive tackle throws down Davis, and it's third down and even longer for the Aviators. Once again, this is third down in a Walmart parking lot. I tuned into the Holy Name broadcast to see how things are going over there. The one thing I heard from the now voice of the namers, Michael Lexick, it's third down in a Walmart parking lot, as Nate would say. So a shout out to him over there. When this game is over, go check out the Holy Name versus Lakeview game and any other action that Mike-O produces over on the Holy Name Athletics YouTube channel. I had to plug where I came from. Are we really surprised here? Padua? You guys are playing a great game, but I had to give some love to the namers. A tough night for them. We will be seeing them in the area week 2 as they take on Niles McKinley. Padua, for you guys, we'll be excited to see what happens week 8. Personally here, as after this play, I kind of give more opinion on the Holy Name Padua rivalry, I think it's a great thing that the game has been moved. Davis looking to throw on third down, steps up in the pocket, it's going to scramble and try to get something, throws instead, and it's going well into Padua's sideline. Nothing going there from Davis, and that will bring back out the punt unit for Alliance. But going back to the Padua Holy Name rivalry, having it week 1 for the last couple of years, it's been fun. It's a great way to kick off the new school year. On the other hand, you don't see the best from either team. A couple of years ago, Padua held scoreless in that game. We want to see the touchdowns. We want to see the scoring. Last year, it was a 21-9 game. Holy Name struggled at points. The 21-16 at the Den was probably the best of the 3 games in overall competition for both teams. But seeing it week 8, you see the best of both teams as this ball will be pinned in Aviator territory at the 43-yard line. But I could be wrong. Padua fans at home, correct me. I think we both want to see both teams at their best to see truly who owns the city of Parma in regards to the Holy War. We want to see Nick Barker at his best, Roderick Love at his best, and that's not to say that they're not really good right now. But if they look this good now, I want to see them in a couple weeks to see just how good this Bruins team can be. We could have a late Catholic of a couple of years ago on our hands, a rogue team to make the Final Four. It's early to say it. Padua does have a tough schedule, but if they can start getting some wins together and some momentum, we could see Padua in Canton come November and December, which would be very exciting to see. Screen pass caught by Zurbrugg on the far side for a first down and 10. Cuts back up the middle, and he's taken down at the 35-yard line. A quick little gain of 8 for the senior wide receiver. I said it last possession. I'll say it again. After the drop touchdown pass, Riley Zurbrugg has really regrouped nicely and has forgotten about it and has become the player we know him to be, an absolute star. From top to bottom, this Padua team has been really fun to watch this game. This might not be what we expected to see. Drew Pastor's line was Padua favored to win by 3. But instead, we're seeing an almost blowout game. But nonetheless, this is Padua at their best. This is what they can do to any team on any given Sunday. Or in this case, any given Friday. Love this time taken down in the backfield. A nice play and some celebration there from the defensive lineman of the Aviators. That is Malachi Thomas Allen once again adding his name to the stat sheet. Once again, the defensive line of both teams has looked good today. Padua's just a little bit better. That is partially the difference in this game. But really, your X factor, you look at Rod Love, he's been an X factor. But Riley Zurbrugg, the unsung hero of this game, even more so than the line. Riley Zurbrugg has had himself a quiet but good day. 3rd down and 8 at the 41. Barker will look to throw once again. Has plenty of time. Rolls out to his right. Plants and throws. Pass just behind Connor Williams, who overran the route. And that will set a 4th down and 8. And we might see the Padua punting unit rejoin the party. And it looks like Devin Shaw Mason will lead the group out. I'm almost surprised to see Padua punt here. It's the right choice, but I was almost expecting to see them try and cause some carnage here. They're up by 20 with under 20 minutes to go. 5:07 in this quarter plus 12 more, so just under 18 to go. Why not try and create some chaos and force Alliance to be more scrappy with their plays? But for Alliance, if they don't score a touchdown on this next possession, it's going to be a tough task to come back. Mason boos the ball. It looks like it will be going for a touchback. No, it just goes out of bounds early. Mason's punt didn't look great right away, but in the end, it lands within the 10. They're going to mark it down at the 5 or 6. They're going to call it at the 5. Devin Shaw Mason doing it on 2 out of the 3 sides of the ball. He does it on defense. He's a one-man wrecking machine. And as a punter, wow, that is one of the best punts I've seen in my time covering OHSAA football. It is extremely difficult to get that lucky bounce, and Shaw Mason has earned it once again. This is Padua's night. The luck of the Irish is in favor of Padua right now. Not necessarily luck even. The talent of Padua has really shown tonight. This is a team who you can tell was hurt by 2023, and they came out firing in 2024. Davis launches downfield for Jackson. Just out of reach or correction, that was intended for Blair. Davis has a cannon. We see that. It's just too much. He needs to control the throw. Maybe bring in a couple more yards, and Blair can have an attempt on the ball. DeVore, the pressure, didn't give Blair much separation. Even on plays like that, the DBs of Padua are within a yard or 2 of the receiver for Alliance, which has made it really difficult for them to get really any offense going. It's had to be in the short game, if anything. Davis will now work in a trips right set. 2nd down and 10. Ball spotted at the 7-yard line with just under 5 to go. High snap taken in. Davis to the sideline. Jackson just out of his hands. The pressure applied from Ruggiero forces the incompletion, which now sets up 3rd down and long for the Aviator offense. Christian Ruggiero once again stepping up with a pass deflection. May have not gotten a piece on it, but the pressure there makes it really difficult for Jackson to get set. We can see it on the replay. He goes up for the high point, but Ruggiero right there in his face makes it next to impossible to get a piece on the ball. He got a tip on it, but there was almost no chance he was making a play. Kind of similar to what Connor Williams did earlier in the game. The only exception, Jackson had the ball in his hands that play. This time he didn't. 3rd down and 10. Davis rolls out to his right. Will launch downfield. Pass is incomplete. It looks like they're going to call it. Are they going to say catch? I believe the VAR judge is signaling catch. The chains are moving, and they're going to give Tajay Nicholson the 1st down. Looking on the replay, yes, he somehow got the right foot in. What a play from Tajay Nicholson to move the chains for the Aviators. They needed some sort of spark. It might be a little late, but that will help get the Aviators back on the right track. Even if this game is out of reach, this is a time where you work on things for week 2. You don't waste any time on the field. You don't waste your live reps. A lot of college coaches talk about it. You don't give away free reps. Davis taken down, a somersault sack there in the backfield from the Bruins defense. Looking to see who got in on that hit. It looks like it's Nick Kelly, the sophomore. First time we're calling his name. Probably the first time that Padua was seeing him. That's a welcome to the party for him. Did basically a somersault to drag down the quarterback, Davis. He now appears to be down, so we'll step aside with 4:36 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Bruins rolling up by 20. .436 left to play in the 3rd quarter at Kehres Stadium. Padua up 26-6 over the Alliance Aviators. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. Davis looking to throw, but he is swallowed up by the defensive line. Once again, Nick Kelly, 2 sacks in a row, and that will make it 3rd and really long for the Aviators. The sophomore making the most of his opportunity to crack his way into the starting lineup for the Bruins defense. Haven't called his name much at all, but he's really stepped up in this quarter. Arco now steps up out of bounds on the far side. Barker getting back to work on the sideline, getting ready to go if he is called upon once again for the Bruin offense. We could potentially see the backup Landon Hanover get some action if Padua can put some more points on the board. But right now, getting a stop on 3rd down, 24 is of importance. Hawkins running up the middle. He has a chance to get some room. He is still cutting. Actually, it looks like it's a different running back in the game now for the Aviators. It looks like Michael Williams had the ball there as he's taken down just past the 15-yard line. DeVore in on the hit along with a couple other Bruins. A gain of 9 on the play. Not enough to move the chains. It's 4th down to 15. And once again, Alliance will have to punt. The Padua Bruin defense has been too much to overcome for Alliance today. They have been stifling. It was a close start for both teams, but right now, Padua, the stifling defense, there's really nothing that Alliance can do to break it. They need a big play the next time they get the ball, or even on defense. I feel like an interception would do them really good for momentum, even more than a deep pass. Love takes it in, going just behind midfield, and will be taken down at the 49. So Padua has some prime field position for Nick Barker to work with. Nick Barker, so far today, has been elite for the Bruins. There's really been no weak point for this team as they have been dominant. Nick Barker, his goal was to outperform his exploits in Week 1 last year in his first career varsity start, and he has easily done so today. 2 touchdowns to no interceptions, a good chunk of yards, a lot of completions. The incompletions, maybe even considered drops. He has really played an almost perfect game. The throw to Ruggiero that was just low, that maybe was caught upon further review, was really his only blemish in this game, and as well the ball that was thrown right into the hands of Brady White that just bobbled out. But otherwise, Barker has been perfect. And for Week 1, to say a quarterback has been perfect, that is really impressive, especially at this level. Barker fakes the handoff, will look to throw. Love gives him a block, has plenty of time, throws over to Cervenka, who has it over the middle and stumbles past the 35, taken down at the 34, a big gain, and another laser thrown from Nick Barker across the middle. Barker just stayed in the pocket for enough time to find the open look. We're going to show it on the replay here. He moves up in the pocket. He has pressure in his face. He's about to get hit when he throws it to Cervenka, but he stayed in just enough time to see number 17 get open right across the middle, and that moves the chains once again for the Bruins, who are marching once again. Barker tries drawing the defensive line offside. Almost did, but doesn't get the call. A double set here on 1st down and 10. A screen pass caught on the far left side by Ruggiero. He cuts up down the far sideline, has some room to go. Hits White and gets into the red zone as he is forced out of bounds by the linebacker at around the 15-yard line. A gain of 20 on the play. The defensive back by trade is making a name for himself as a wide receiver in the opener of 2024. Padua's offense, the last 2 plays, has moved from the 49-yard line all the way to the Alliance 13 in less than a minute. A well-oiled machine. That's about all you can say. Do we see Rod Love go for a 4th? Or do we see Barker go for a 3rd? Pitch will go to a different back in the backfield for the Bruins. Love not in on the snap as he's taken down right around the 10-yard line, so a gain of a couple on the play. So this time, Padua will send, I believe, Dom Santoro out as he is the back. So will we see more of Roderick Love in this game? Trying to see where he is on the sideline. As of right now, it doesn't appear that we will see Rod Love for the foreseeable future. It looks like he might be getting stretched out on the sideline. Dom Santoro, can he make something happen and get his first career touchdown with the Bruins? Barker, the jump ball to DeVore is just incomplete. Bobbled out of the hands. Excellent pressure in the end zone from the defensive back on that side. We'll show it again. A little handsy from Cam Burton, but it forces the incompletion. DeVore wanted a call, but it looked clean. We'll show it back here. It was a tough jump ball, but I don't blame Nick Barker for going for it. This is the point where you experiment. If that is a play you want to add to your arsenal, do it now in a game where if it doesn't work, you're up by 20, you have plenty of cushion. I don't want to see him try that in a game where you're down by a couple of points and any given ball could change the game for worse. He will go again. 3rd down and 7. Ball at the 10. He's looking to throw. Has pressure. Steps up through it. He's going to take it himself. The 5. He is in. Nick Barker runs it in himself for another Padua touchdown. Make it 3 on the day for him. 2 in the air and 1 with his legs. The Bruins now up 32-6, and they are making a statement in Alliance tonight. Nick Barker has matched Rod Love's efforts of 3 touchdowns. Those two are looking to be a star tandem in the backfield this year. 3 touchdowns for him, 3 for Love, 1 for Cervenka. The Bruin faithful that made the trip out to Alliance are very happy tonight that they will be going home 1-0 after an impressive performance that still has 13 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in it. We could see the second stringers get a run out here as they can try and make some magic happen. It appears we will have a timeout before the extra point attempt. Padua dominating up 32-6 over the Alliance Aviators. Padua out of the timeout will look to complete the 2-point conversion. 0 for 1 on the day on attempts. Barker's pass was incomplete the last time. He will throw again and try and make amends. And he does, finding Connor Williams, putting 2 more points on the board for the Bruins, who now lead it 34-6. 2 points away from a running clock. And looking at the time right now, the Bruins who made the trip out here would be grateful for that. Not only because that would mean Padua would win, but also that can make their hour and 15-minute drive back to Parma. But what an impressive day for Padua this has been. Nick Barker on fire. Connor Williams, we've seen him make a couple plays on defense, but he kind of fell off a little bit in favor of other guys. This is a Padua team that you look at their lineup, you can have 4 or 5 guys have a big game week 1, and then it switches. Looking for next week, you could see Ryan Arco on offense make 5 or 6 catches, same thing with Connor Williams, Brady DeVore doing the same thing, and Cervenka kind of not get as many targets. And on defense, you saw Devin Shaw Mason down the stretch make some plays. But you also could see some more secondary players make an impact in games next week. This Padua team rotates a lot. They rotate a lot of players in, which gives a lot of guys a lot of reps to make a lot of carnage happen. A sort of squib kick down the right sideline. Alliance just has to throw the ball out of bounds to keep it in their possession. They will set up in decent territory around the 35, a little bit further back at the 32, where Bo Davis will step back onto the field, needing some sort of spark for the offense. It's not been Alliance's night. They need to regroup after this game and head into week 2 with a game plan on how to make sure they can put their best foot forward against Louisville away. They will then return here week 3 against Streetsboro. That will be a big game, a big test for them as they're trying to get back to winning ways. And looking at Louisville, they're down 12-7 against New Philadelphia. One of the score updates we had come in. Men are up by a bunch as well over the Jackson Polar Bears. 1st down 10. Screen pass caught by Hawkins, and he is dragged down. Play made by Christian Ruggiero on the near side at around the 32. So maybe a yard gain, if that. It looks like they're going to say he just got back to the line. That will bring up 2nd down and 10. But right now we have an injured Aviator on the field. 54 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter of this week 1 matchup. Padua up big. The injured Aviator able to get off the field on his own power. The clock continues to run. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Padua up 34-6 over the Alliance Aviators. If you're just tuning in, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening. Padua stacks the box on second down and 10. Davis running for his life to the right side, will launch, and it's bobbled, almost picked off by Ryan Arco, who does a nice job to get a hand on the ball and bat it down, setting up third down and 10 for the Aviators. The linebacker was so close to his first interception of the year. He went up and tried to block the ball down and almost made a bigger play. He made the play he wanted to, and now will go off to the sideline and watch third down and 10 from there. Padua continuing to rotate, but once again, they stack the box. That forced Davis to make a throw he necessarily didn't want to make. Padua going to send less pressure here, only sending 3, but it's enough to cause some havoc. Almost picked off. Gio Roman, the defensive lineman, got a piece of it, courtesy of the pressure from Hankins. Both of them got through easily, shooting their gaps. Roman almost got a piece of it, courtesy of the pressure. But now, fourth down and 10, the Aviators will punt once again, and the Bruins defense, stop me if you've heard it, has stifled the Aviators. The defensive linemen really have a lot to be proud of in this game. Everyone wants to see a big man touchdown. Everyone wants to see a big man interception. Looking back to the 2010s NFL, Vince Wilfork, when he got an interception, people were there for it. Same thing with B.J. Raji. In high school, not necessarily the same, but getting a tight end or a D lineman who's like 6'4", 230, getting an interception, that is what they live for. And now Padua, with plenty of momentum, will look to try and give a running clock to their advantage with 12 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Next week, whoever they play, it's going to be a tough ask for them. I believe it's Sandusky Perkins at home. They will open up their year at Padua Stadium. They'll have a couple big games down the stretch this year. Walsh Week 10 once again. Holy Name Week 8. You also have some mid-season clashes with NDCL and Lake Catholic. It's a tough schedule for Padua, but if you're looking at this game from a perspective of an opponent, it's going to be a tough task to bring down these Bruins. First down and 10 for Barker. He'll throw it to the near side. Williams catches the screen at the 20, will take it past the 30, cuts upfield, and will be forced out of bounds at around the 34-yard line. 7 seconds left to go in the third quarter, and Williams moves the chains. And it looks like someone got hit on the sideline. There's a little pile up there. Looks like a fan on the near side. Looks like she's okay. Looks like a photographer. She gets some claps after she's able to get up. But not what you want to see. It's a dangerous spectator sport to be on the sideline. You see a lot of media guys having to move out of the way of carnage, especially in a sport like this. Handoff goes to the left side for the Bruins. Cutting upfield with some space is Weiser, and he jumps his way forward for another Padua first down as the clock expires for the third quarter. 12 minutes left to go in Alliance. It's the Padua Bruins up 34-6 over the Alliance Aviators. 12 minutes left to go in week 1 of OHSAA football in Alliance. But from what I'm hearing, that is not the case for a lot of people. Some games coming to a close now, but a couple others look like they still have plenty left in the tank. The Bruins up 34-6. Williams catches the screen on the far side this time around. He gets into Aviator territory, still on his feet, spinning, and forces his way forward to the 45-yard line. Once again, moving the chains. Connor Williams is coming alive in the second half for the Bruins. I said it a couple minutes ago. On any given possession or any given game, a couple Bruins can step up and a couple can kind of go to the back burner, but they're ready to make a play when they're called upon. Williams on defense made a play earlier in the game, kind of took a backseat, but now is back and is performing for the Bruins. 2 nice screen passes caught by him and 2 first downs. Barker fakes a handoff, throws to the screen for Cervenka. He stays inbounds and just tiptoes out of bounds, getting a gain of a couple. An Aviator slow to get up, and we have a late flag on the far side. It looks like a late hit that was kind of shown on the video board in-house. It looks like maybe number 78 got a late hit. Maybe number 70. I believe that'd be Bo Barney, the junior, getting a late hit, and that would move Padua back if that is indeed the call. During this little timeout or intermission to figure out the laundry to stay up to date in all the games I'm covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram and SmeeFest2024 on Twitter to stay up to date on all the action at Q92 Sports. Follow them over on Instagram and Twitter, especially to see where I'm going to be next week as I make my debut alongside Matt Morrison, who has given us a score update. It's 17-0 Smithville over Tuslaw. That game about to end. I'm looking forward to working with Matt starting next week to showcase the best of the Akron-Canton area's high school football teams. And finally, subscribe here to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I go live. My goal is to get up to 250 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. If you own a small business and are looking for a sponsorship opportunity, email me at nsmee00@gmail.com. That's nsmee00@gmail.com to discuss a potential sponsorship opportunity for a broadcast, whether it be in the Akron-Canton area or back in Northeast Ohio proper, such as Parma, Medina, Strongsville, anywhere around there within maybe a 30-minute radius of Padua, more towards the southern end of things in Strongsville, Medina, Brunswick, anywhere around there. Just looking for games to cover, just trying to kind of grow my own business here and just bring the best of high school sports to your screen. High school sports, high school travel baseball in the summer, anything, all of the above, looking to showcase it and looking to give a great show to the fans at home. Once again, a shout out to all those watching from Parma, rooting on Padua. Obviously a tough drive to make for week 1. Glad you're able to join us and relish in the success of the Bruins so far in this game. You weren't disappointed if you spent your Friday night watching this game, if you're a Padua fan all the way back in Parma. So shout out to you, and shout out to all you have done to support my career thus far, even though I came from Holy Name. As it's kind of said in those intros, we're friendly rivals. Some things are greater than football. Another thing as well this year that Padua playing for, longtime PA announcer Joe Schumann passed away this past summer. If not mistaken, he worked at my home parish of St. Joe's in Strongsville. So definitely a lot to play for. Both of Mr. Schumann's kids have been coaches for this Padua team, including one of them right now as a coordinator. Got to interview him a couple weeks ago. This Padua staff, all class acts. I'm glad I was able to get out here and really showcase the best of this Padua football team. This is the best that I've seen them play throughout my time covering high school sports. It's been a busy day. Moved the rest of my stuff into my college dorm earlier today and then called the football game. Is that normal? I don't know. But it's what we did. Clock still stopped with 11:18 to go in regulation. Padua on their way to a battle with Sandusky Perkins next Friday. The Aviators will hit the road to Louisville to take on the Leopards. Barker awaits a snap, and we're back underway. Handoff goes to the near side. Santoro, the sophomore, running with a head of steam. He's still on his feet down the sidelines. Actually, no, it is the other running back now in the game. Chase Weiser, a big run from him as he's within the 5. It looks like they're going to back him up a little bit more to the 7, but Chase Weiser getting his first real carry of the game We've seen him on the field a couple of times, but him and Dom Santoro have really flipped on and off, but this play might be coming back as a late flag flies. The fans not happy. Another score update. I believe the game is in Balat. West Branch up 20-0 over the Canfield Cardinals. They're 12 minutes away from beating them for the first time in a long time. One of the best rivalries in the greater Akron-Canton area. A lot of boos from the Padua fans as the big run from Weiser is called back, and that will situate Padua all the way back at what appears to be the 36-yard line. So a big difference from being within the 10 to being outside the red zone. Padua will work with it. Two running backs set for the Bruins. On the left is Weiser. I believe on the right is Santoro. High snap taken in by Barker. He's going to run to his right. Has some blockers. Still on his feet. Cuts upfield. Goes back to the far sideline. And he's taken down just before the red zone. Nice hustle from Brody Fast to chase him down. Taking down the quarterback at around the 23-yard line. A nice gain on the play from Nick Barker as he will move the chains for the Bruins. But another flag is down. Do we have another hold against Padua? We heard the boos a couple minutes ago. We might hear them again. The refs are convening. We're hoping to get the call right here. Once again, it's holding on Padua. So after two nice runs, the first from Weiser, the second from Barker, the Bruins will be set back all the way to the Aviator 40-yard line. The game has gone by methodically, and that continues. 11 and counting left to go in regulation. 9:15 is the time, so we're nearing around a 2.5-hour game. One of the longer games of the evening. Same two running back set, one to either side of Barker. Handoff on the high snap goes to Santoro. He's getting the outside edge, and this time, once again, Weiser gets it. Correction. He is tossed down at the 25. This time around, no flags. This play will stand for Weiser. Santoro does a nice job to lead block for the Bruins. Lays in a shoulder. Dusek also following. DeVore, another big block, but Weiser dragged down finally in the end. And it looks like we have a Bruin down on the near side. 10:36 left to go in regulation. We'll step aside. $10:36 left to go in regulation. In Alliance, we have a score update. Lakeview takes down Holy Name 33-0. Lakeview, a solid start to the 2024 campaign. Barker looking to throw on first down, launches downfield for Ruggiero. An excellent tip from Brady White as he jars the ball away from Ruggiero, and he'll add a pass deflection to his stat book. White making up for his earlier drop. This is exactly what I was talking about. This game, Padua is going to win it. The comeback is essentially off for Alliance, but this is the time where they can work at in-game reps with really no pressure surrounding it to get better. This is where good teams are made, in quote-unquote garbage time, because this is free reps. And a lot of younger guys getting reps, such as Dom Santoro, who pushes his way forward, nearing the 20, and he'll be tripped up at around the 22-yard line. Give him 4 on the play. So third down and medium for the Bruins, as it appears that Nick Barker's passing day is almost over. but Nick Barker has been elite from start to finish in this game. Barker, a great game. Rod Love, well on his way to player of the game honors. Cervenka, a good outing with a touchdown. Connor Williams, Christian Ruggiero, Brady DeVore, Ryan Arco. You can go down the full depth chart. Everyone who has stepped on the field for Padua has done something really effective and really well for the Bruins tonight, and that is why they're up by 28. Barker, maybe one last pass for him. He is going to move and evade pressure. He's running upfield. He's going to be close to the first down marker. He leans forward and gets it. An excellent job from Nick Barker to use his lead shoulder and lead it over for a first down. Maybe he thinks he's Roderick Love with that kind of shiftiness, but it works. It moves the chains, and that puts Padua at the 15-yard line on the far hash. With 2:56 left to play, we have a score update. Green up 24-21 over Dover. An exciting finish over there. After this game's over, go on the Q92 website to see the conclusion of the rest of the games in the area. Ruggiero slides for it, but not in time as it just hits the turf, which will set up 2nd down and 10. That's the second miscommunication on the screen between Ruggiero and Barker. This one, it looks like hit the turf. The other one, maybe not. It was close, but that's the call that was given. It's not really going to matter in the end, except in the final stat book. 15 yards separate Padua from a running clock and no running clock. It's 2nd down and 10. Do we see Barker take one final shot in this game to go for his 4th overall touchdown? Handoff goes to Santoro up the gut, still pedaling forward. He gets near the 10-yard line. He is dragged down at the 11, so a gain of 4. Once again, setting up 3rd down and medium for the Bruins. But Dom Santoro does a nice job using his legs as a motor to propel himself forward. These running backs run really uniform. No matter what running back has stepped in the game, Rod Love, a different beast, but Chase Weiser, the junior, and Dom Santoro have both done a similar job in completely different builds. Weiser, 5'6", 145. Dom Santoro, 5'11", 175 pounds. So 2 completely different players have had similar output in the backfield for the Bruins. 3rd down and 6. Pitch to Santoro, cutting up to the left side, pushing his way forward. It's going to be close. He's been marked down at about the 9-yard line, so a gain of 2. So he'll be marked back further than originally anticipated. It'll be 4th down and a few for the Bruins. So I would assume that we will see the offense remain on the field. It'll be 4th down and 4 at the 9. The clock continues to run with 8 minutes left to go in regulation. Once again, Padua will improve to 1-0 on the year and take on Sandusky Perkins next week as the Aviators go to 0-1 on the year and take on the Louisville Leopards at 7 p.m. next week. 4th down, the throw to the right corner for Ruggiero, just out of his reach. Barker had the right idea, but Christian Ruggiero couldn't track it down. It's a turnover on downs for the Bruins as the Aviators will send the offense back on the field. 7:38 left to go in regulation. The Bruins continue their march up 34-6. .38 left to go in regulation. Alliance back on the field, trying to put some points on the board late in this one. Davis, the handoff goes low after the high snap. A gain of a few on the play. The new back in the game, Michael Williams for the Aviators, picks up a few. We can hear it somewhat in the box. The band of Alliance, I believe, on the far side playing down the stretch of this game. We apologize we couldn't have the audio on for the bands at halftime. Similar to the Canfield game last year for Holy Name. Once again, in an enclosed box, glass couldn't open. You wouldn't be able to hear anything. It'd only be picking up outside noise, nothing of the band. It's unfortunate, but that's what you have to work with at this kind of facility. 2nd down and 9. A nice little run here for the Aviators. Still on his feet is the running back Hawkins back in the game, and he gets a nice little gain going from, I believe, around the 11-yard line all the way up to the 30. So a gain of a good chunk, setting up the Aviators with a fresh set of downs. We have a final. New Philadelphia takes down the Louisville Leopards 12-7. A lot of games starting to go final. Our game will be going final very soon here, but a lot of good games in the area. Tune in to Q92 radio networks after this game to hear the post-game shows. All 7 games should have concluded in the next 25 minutes. A lot of good games in the area. A lot of action to catch up on. How did Scotty Fox do to begin the year? Did Ignatius do well at the Brown Stadium? And Canfield versus West Branch, the rivalry. Do the Cardinals continue their dominance? Find that out on the Q92 Sports Networks after this game. We have a flag on the far side. White made his move up the field, and it looks like it will be in favor of the Aviators as the Chains will move forward as they start to drive down the field. 6:17 on the clock, so still plenty of time for the Aviators to put the ball in the end zone one more time. This is just where they kind of work different things out. They look at the game, what went wrong, how do we fix it? That is what this point is. That's what this whole half has been. Right now, it looks like they're starting to figure it out. Padua trying to make some quick substitutions on the fly. Almost got caught out as a couple of defensive linemen were almost left stranded on the field and the ball was snapped. Davis will look to throw on 1st down and 10, has plenty of pressure, steps up through the pocket, launches downfield for Jackson. Ruggiero, a big pass deflection down the seam, prevents Jackson from snagging the ball. It was inevitable that Christian Ruggiero would have a big pass deflection late in this game. It's not really going to matter on the final score sheet, but Ruggiero continues to shine in the secondary as a ball hawk, going up against Jackson, who's one of the best defensive backs in the area. He has to have good hands, and that translates to him being a good wide receiver. For him to make that kind of play, kudos to Christian Ruggiero. 2nd down and 10, ball spotted at the 45-yard line for the Aviators. The game clock running down quickly just at the end. Pass caught over in the flats. Nicholson dragged down by a host of Bruins on the far side. Maybe a loss on the play. It looks like it'll be a loss of a couple. Nice job. It looks like DeVore, the first man in on the play, assisted by a couple defensive backs, including Ruggiero, and the play finished off by Devin Shaw Mason. And it looks like we have an upset on our hands. Garfield Heights up 22-9 in the 3rd quarter against Lutheran West. Nobody saw that coming. The Garfield Heights Bulldogs, maybe spurred on by their new field, making some noise against the Longhorns. Looking to throw is Davis. He has plenty of pressure. Steps up once again, and he is taken down. Once again, the Padua Bruins call on Nick Kelly for his 3rd tackle for loss of the ball game, setting up 4th down and 16, and potentially one last-ditch effort for the Aviators to get back in the end zone. But a lot of shock results around NEO. Some big teams favored to win, but it's week 1. Anything can happen. That's the beauty of OHSAA football and OHSAA sports. And looking at the next level, college sports, we have college football on tomorrow. But as for Mount Union, a week from today, college athletics return to Alliance. It's going to be fun. I believe girls soccer has a game on Friday. Volleyball has a game Friday and Saturday as Mount Union hosts a tournament. September 7th, Mount Union football, they play their first game, and then a couple of weeks later play against BW. It's exciting times for sports. We're getting back into the colder weather time. Yes, you have to go to school, but you get football. You get Al Michaels on Thursday night now. That's kind of a fair trade-off. Or you get me on Friday nights. That's maybe not a fair trade-off. But still, you really can't complain. It's football season. 4:24 left to go in regulation. Padua up big. 4:24 left to go in regulation. The Bruins up big. Davis launching downfield, trying to find the open receiver, and it's tipped out of bounds. It was very close to being a reception on that far sideline. Jerian Blair went up for the ball. It looked like Cervenka got a piece of it and deflected it. Almost did. That foot may have been in, but they're going to call it an incomplete pass, as I believe that will switch things back to the Bruins. But right now, 4:18 left to go in regulation. Padua up 34-6. This has been a big game for Padua. This is what they wanted. This is the way they wanted to start the year. They wanted to make a statement after the way that 2023 ended and said, look, we're back. This is the team that you saw in 2022 that made it all the way to the regional final game at Maple Heights. That game did not end well. The last couple of years, their last game has had some struggles. But in week one, they make amends, and I feel like this is the year that Padua can put things together and make a run deep into November. We have a flag flying here as Weiser is taken down on the near side just around the 47-yard line outside the hash. We could have another hold or a false start. We have a final score in the Northwest Canal Fulton versus Norton game. Norton loses only for the third time in the regular season since 2021, losing 29-14 to Northwest Canal Fulton. As well, a final score, the Mentor Cards win 36-13 over Massillon Jackson. The Polar Bears will take on Austintown Fitch next week at 7 p.m. on Friday. 17-0 is your final score from Tuslaw as they lost to Smithville. Green over Dover with 2:56 left to go in the game, 24-21, but Dover recovered an onside kick, so an exciting finish over there. It's going to be a photo finish between two teams who last year also played out a great game, a little bit lower scoring, but we have a classic between the Bulldogs of Dover, the Bulldogs and Dover. First down and 10 for the Bruins, less than 4 to go in regulation. Once again, a two running back set for Barker. It appears Rod Love's day is over, and he has impressed. He'll get some well-deserved rest on the sideline as he awaits a big game, week 2 against Sandusky Perkins. Barker will hand the ball off to Santoro, who runs to the far right side, cuts back upfield, and will force his way forward past the 30 to around the 27-yard line. A gain of 6 on the play. And the bruising running style continues for Padua. Santoro using his lead shoulder and momentum to force his way forward, giving him a couple extra yards. Those couple extra yards have really added up this game for the Bruins, and that has been a big point of emphasis for Coach Kubit to finish. And they are finishing this game really well and are well on their way to being 1-0 going into a big game week 2 on Friday next week. Second down and 4 at the 27 of Alliance for Padua as they look to put the cherry on top of this performance. Handoff once again goes to Santoro. Gets a couple blocks, will go to the outside and shoves down the defender, but he's taken down. Brody Fast meets the turf, and so does Santoro. A gain of a few on the outside, setting up third down and medium. Be 3 yards on the carry. Third down and 3 at the 26-yard line. Padua getting the call. Less than 2.5 to go in regulation as Padua looks to put the exclamation point and cherry on top of this one as we are 2.5 hours into this ballgame. Barker making adjustments at the line. Santoro opts to the right side of the senior quarterback. Third down and 3. Screen pass to the far right side, finds Ruggiero, and he stumbles his way forward for a first down. A flag will fly, and he breaks loose, still going past the 15, and he jumps forward to the 11. An excellent play from Christian Ruggiero, dragging a couple Aviators on his back and putting himself well into the red zone. Going to show a replay of this one. It could be coming back. There is a flag, but what a play from Christian Ruggiero. Barker and Ruggiero finally get on the same page on the screen pass. It looks like he's going to get the first down and then breaks a tackle. Padua's ability to shed tackles today has been extremely fun to watch. You see big plays that really shouldn't be big plays happen. This one will be coming back as there is a hold. Looking at the replay in-house, I can kind of see the call they give there, Padua will march it on back, and it'll be 3rd down and long for the Bruin offense. It really doesn't matter for them as they will walk out of Kehres Stadium with a big victory over Alliance. Ball now at the 36. The clock continues to run. Less than 2 to go. 4th down and 13 for the Bruins. Potentially the last offensive snap of the game. Handoff will go to Santoro. Santoro cups up the field and will stumble his way forward, getting back to around the original line of scrimmage, back to the 30. So a gain of 2 from the original line of scrimmage. Overall, a gain of a couple. Not enough to move the chains. The Lions will get one last opportunity. Actually, no, they had the thing wrong in-house. This is now 4th down. Or no one really knows what down it is. The board says 4th down. The change say 4th down. They showed 2nd down at some point. I think now we're at 4th down. It was supposed to be 3rd down before. Either way, Padua, if they get the conversion here, a kneel down will end it. Otherwise, Alliance makes one play and the game is over. 4th down and 9. Handoff will go to Santoro. He takes up the right side, cuts in the middle. He has some space. The 20, the 10, the 5, and he is leveled from beneath inside the 5-yard line at the 4. Dom Santoro, the sophomore, a big run, puts the exclamation point on Padua's big victory. What a run from Dom Santoro. He was absolutely leveled from beneath, and he is slow to get up. The Padua training staff will go onto the field along with Coach Kubit. Not the ending the Bruins want to this one. 34-6 is your score with 47 seconds to go. We'll take our final timeout as the down Bruin is attended to. Dom Santoro helped off the field by his teammates. Not a good sign for the sophomore running back. Had an excellent run. Padua hoping he is okay. Everyone hoping he is okay. You hate to see anyone get injured, especially someone that young who looks like they could be a budding star for this Bruins team. This time off will definitely help him. Film study will be more of a relaxing one for Dom Santoro. The Bruins have a lot of good film to roll going into tomorrow morning's practice. They are in victory formation. One kneel down from Nick Barker will be enough to seal the Padua victory. For the second year in a row, the Padua Bruins open up their year with a win, beating Alliance 34-6. This one feels just as good as last year for the Bruins. It was a rivalry win last year, but this one, it's a statement win. 34-6. Barker, a hat-trick of touchdowns. Rod Love, a hat-trick of touchdowns. Riley Cervenka got in on the action. A lot of big defensive plays. DSM made his impact felt. Ruggiero, Connor Williams, from top to bottom on the depth chart. The Bruins looked stellar. Your player of the game brought to you by SmeeSports. It has to go to Roderick Love. A hat-trick of touchdowns, 2 on the ground and 1 in the air, and a plethora of yards. The future Division I running back had an excellent start to his senior year as he looks to continue building off of that going in to Week 2 against a tough Sandusky-Perkins team. Alliance, they will be taking on Louisville in Week 2. That game you can find over on the Q92 Radio Sports Network. Tune in over there to hear a post-game show from any of the guys over there. A lot of good games in the area. Dover and Green went final. Dover, the comeback victory, 28-24 over the Bulldogs. An excellent start to the season for them. To stay up to date on all the games I'm covering, follow SmeeSports on Instagram at SmeeFest2024, on Twitter. To stay up to date on all the action with Q92 Sports, follow them over on social media and stay tuned to updates on their website. And finally, subscribe here to the SmeeSports YouTube channel and enable push notifications to be notified when I go live. My goal is to get up to 250 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. And one final time, we'll leave it on for the rest of the broadcast. If you own a small business and are looking to sponsor a broadcast, whether it be in the Akron-Canton area or back in the Parma area, email me at nsmee00@gmail.com. That's nsmee00@gmail.com to discuss a sponsorship opportunity. Looking forward to doing some broadcasts throughout my time here at Mount Union, not only for the Purple Raiders, but also for the local area, including my work at Q92 and some other deals that will be announced in the coming days, and as well when I'm back home for winter break and other sort of breaks. Padua fans, I thank you for all the support that you have given me throughout these past couple of years, and today a lot of viewers watching from back home in Parma. Glad I was able to help you guys out and bring you the game. Once again, I apologize that we couldn't have the band audio. With this being a glass enclosure, you wouldn't have been able to really hear it. I'd rather put out a good product than kind of mumble the band. I can tell you they did an excellent job. The Marching Bruins always do an excellent job, and so did the Aviator band. But with that, that will do it from Kehres Stadium. On the camera, Eliza Boatman. On the scoreboard, Megan McCafferty. And on the call, I have been Nathan Smee. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us at Kehres Stadium in Alliance. It's moving day for the freshmen at the Purple Raiders. And for me, it's crazy time doing a broadcast right after it. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to my future here at Mount Union. And I'm usually ending broadcasts saying, go Namers. This time, I'm going to end it saying, go Purple Raiders.